Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, deep into the rabbit hole. We're like-minded me. Welcome to the rabbit hole, the truth we see. There's lizard people everywhere, the conspiracies be.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, uninvited from the rabbit hole. The weak-minded sheep for the open-minded people, not the little but the weak. To the rabbit hole. You sure you wanna be?
We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
And for future generations.
Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a
New world order.
Treasure Island.
They never come back. And boy,
Yes, guys. How you doing? How are you? Welcome back. Oh, cameras up, cameras off. How you doing? How's everybody doing? It's just me at the moment. It's just me. I thought, you know what? Let's get going. Let's do some more. Last night was just so much fun. But because I had the best part of, I don't know, 3 or 4 factors and 3 of those Maggie Dig Dums, Magalicious, I ended up feeling a bit ropey dopey this morning. I was on the ropes like Foreman. Oh no, not like Foreman, like Ali. Rumble in the jungle, rumble, the young man, rumble. But then you know what? I woke up and I shook it off, shake it off. Had to go out, didn't I? Got back, and now we're back. We're back again. I have given the link. In fact, I haven't given the link. Wait a minute. I didn't give the link. I didn't put the link in the rabbit hole chat. But I don't know. I'm not sure if anyone's around, so it might just be me. But that's okay too. That's okay too. We can chew through it all together. Destiny 5. I think Sean demodded you. I didn't demod you. I didn't demod you. I demodded nobody. I haven't demodded anybody. I can mod you now though. I can mod anybody. Let's get the mod going. Mod on. Mod on. Add as a moderator. There you go. There you go. How's everybody doing, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, I just wanted a chin wag. I just thought, you know what? Let's do some chin wagging. Let's do a little bit of conspiracy stuff. Let's do a little bit of videos. Let's see where we go with this. I need to move my light. Give me 1 second. But what we can do is talk about whatever we want, people. Is it going to work? Oh, it works as well. Love it. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Everything is coming up Millhouse. What is going on? I felt like I've been going live on Spurs Talk Show for like an hour and a half, a couple of times this week. Oh, there's the shadow. Hi, shadow. Do you know what? I can't actually see a shadow when I'm looking at it, but I can see it on the screen. Maybe it's a camera glitch. Maybe I'm not being possessed. I don't know what's going on. There you go. What is crack-a-lacking? Anyway, we are look at that shadow, right? So there's either something wrong with my camera, or because there's no shadow here, or the camera is picking up the spirit. I don't know. Yeah, we can see you, Cockeyed TV. We can see you, my man. We can see you. Do you know what else I noticed, by the way? Another conspiracy. You know, you lot are messing around with your fonts. However you guys are doing that, mate. Whenever you guys are messing around with your fonts, when I bring up the fonts on the screen, it works. But when I watch back on YouTube, it doesn't come up. It comes up with black blocks. So I don't know what's going on there. Don't know what's going on here either. You're scaring me. Go away. Or is it just the camera? That bloody hole in my aura. That bloody hole in my aura. Mate, that woman, she really sucked the life out of me when she said that. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. You know, what does that mean? What does that mean? And she's like, oh, the less we say, the better. I was like, that's even worse. Does that mean that I'm going this way? Am I going down south when it's time at the bar on this earthly realm? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, big up to you, Kate and Jimbo. How you doing? That scrap at the end of the football, yeah. There's a couple of people doing some naughty things there. Todibo, Jean-Claire Todibo, should have been sent off. Was sent off. Yeah, this guy, Spurs King. What are you saying? Shadows back to front. But I think if that then comes up on YouTube, it just comes up as black blocks. Does it? In fact, let me have a look on the screen right now. No, you can see it right now. It's really weird. I can see it right now, but when I clipped something yesterday and I put the clip up, it just had black blocks in front of it. I don't know. Save me a seat, bro. Save me a seat. If I'm there first, mate, I'll shotgun the best seat in the house, right? Get one right by the fire. Well, we got loads of videos. We've got loads and loads of videos. I don't know what any of them are. I haven't titled them, haven't watched them. And I've got about another 50 to go behind it if we want to. So we'll just get going and see where where the tangents take us today. See where the tangentes take us tonight. Please smash the like button, guys. We are about 70 odd subscribers away from the 1,000. Feels like a long time since I've been asking to get to 1,000, you know. So any support in that regard is greatly appreciated. Let's have a look. Let's see where we're going. I saw the chat you were talking about yesterday with Blocks. It was Blocks Live at the time. Oh, it was. Was it? Okay, fair enough. Anyway. Conspiracy overload, says Paul Brownie. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here. I think I'm going to go a little bit easier, though, on certain topics. I feel like all you're going to end up doing is pissing off everybody. Now, I've got equal amount of love or hate or accusations, allegations for absolutely everyone. So there's no vendettas. There's nothing but love for the individual. Just to be entirely clear, I do think you should be able to call out governments of any particular part of the world. And it doesn't mean that you're saying something about the people from those countries. But I also feel like even if I was to say something about one country, something about someone else, like if I had equal shots fired for absolutely everybody, no one's going to remember that you're not really going after anyone specifically. You're going after everybody entirely. All you're going to do is make a hell of a lot of enemies. So, and I could do without. Little few less problems in my life, right? So we shall see. Now, let's find out what the first video goes, shall we? And we're going to run with it and see what happens. Let's have a look at this one here. What are we doing here? Let's look at this one. What is this one?
那为什么是你看到了吗？好像是真的，别说话。
I feel like I've seen this one before somewhere. I'm not sure if we did this on a previous show. A dragon. I mean, it sort of looks real. It does sort of look like it's not AI.
那为什么是你看到了吗？好像是真的，别说话。
I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's not much you can really say about it, though. Dragon worship, though. Like, listen, there are things that you have to acknowledge. That if we go back in time and we look at all the different civilizations of the world, every single one of them have paintings on their walls in caves, or they worship similar sorts of things. Right? Like the Egyptians, the gods in Egypt, they all have that purse, right? And they all have that watch type looking thing. Have you seen that? You know, when you look at the Egyptian, like the old pharaohs and that, they all have a purse and they all have like a watch looking device on their wrist. And those same things exist in Mesopotamia. Those same things exist in the folklore of the Aztecs and the Greeks And I'm like, these people live too far away from each other. They live too far away from each other for there to have been communication. So, you know, how is it they all worship the same things? Is it because they were all like, I don't know, they were all getting on board DMT or versions of DMT, something like that, right? Something like the what's that other thing called? Appaloosa? No, you know, the thing that they drink in the shaman, in the mountains or in the rainforest. Maybe they're all communicating with the same beings, right? If they're communicating with the same beings and they're seeing the same things and they worship the same worships, then maybe it just goes to show you that all of that stuff is not within you. Those experiences that you're having are without you. You know, they're external. They're external. Anyway, don't know. But the dragon worship and the serpent are 100% ever-present things in every single bit of folklore across the world. And in China specifically, they love a dragon out there. They absolutely love ayahuasca. That's it, Cockeyed TV, ayahuasca. They absolutely love a dragon. They're right up the dragon straza, you know? So I don't know if that one's real or not. I don't know. Anyway, let's crack a little bit on further forward. Let's see where we're going with this one.
Now, a transgender woman's milk is just as good for babies as breast milk. That's according to a letter from the medical director at University Hospital Sussex NHS Foundation Trust. The claim was made as part of a response against campaign groups. The trust referred to studies and the World Health Organization guidance, including one case which found what it called no observable effects in babies fed by induced lactation.
Oh my God. What are we doing here? Rainbow milk is just as good for you. For crying out loud. Skittles milk, for fuck's sake. I mean, the less said about that one, the better. What are the BBC? What actually are the BBC? I mean, the BBC, they're still considered to be like this bastion of truth. We don't misinform you. Well, if that's not misinformation, then you're just fucking moronic. You're just idiots. Don't forget they were responsible for who was the geezer who did the dick pics and got away with it? Sent dick pics to young... Oh, no, it wasn't dick pics. He actually had child stuff on his computer, and he was like a newsman, the Welsh fella. He got away with it. No prison for him. Jimmy Savile. Don't forget him. Let's also not forget about Savile and Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer was the guy who was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service. Now, later on, Keir Starmer said, I wasn't aware of the Jimmy Savile investigation. I had nothing to do with it. It was, you know, as the head of the CPS, you overlook hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases, and you're not very much in the weeds, yada, yada, yada. But then they found a video from him at the time that said, we looked into the Jimmy Savile thing, and essentially, because of the credibility that came with him, we felt like the threshold for for a prosecution was higher, simply because it was Jimmy Savile when he held such a high standing in society. Legit what he said. Legit, he said the threshold for a conviction is higher, in a nutshell, depending on how high you are in society. And so he said that we didn't take those claims as seriously because it's Jimmy Savile. So first of all, he lied later on, saying I was never aware of it. It didn't cross my desk. But they found a video from him years ago saying we were aware of it, but yeah, the threshold didn't qualify because he's a big time. I'm not sure what's worse, the lie or the fact that they admit that you or I have a threshold that's like here, but as you climb up the social pipeline, the only way those people get in trouble is if it's absolutely stone dead, caught on camera, nothing you can do about it. Like, you know, and even then they'll probably do everything they can to cover it up. Absolute insanity. Let me know if you remember that one, guys. Let me know if you remember that one. Yeah, and Rolf Harris as well. Can you guess what it is yet? Fucking hell. Yes, I can guess what it was, mate. You dirty little git. Did you get my link, Sean, on geoengineering? Where did you send that, DJ Riot? Where did you send that, mate? A lot of people keep telling me they're sending me links. By the way, I only found out yesterday when Adam Score Drawlock came on and said, "Oh, can I come on?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Message me on Twitter." He said, "I've messaged you." I said, I can't find you." Anyway, he goes, "Check again." So I looked, and there's a button that I had never seen before, which was like not in your messages. It's the request for messages. And there were hundreds, hundreds and hundreds of people that have messaged me over the last like 18 months about Tottenham or whatever else. Obviously, a load of spam in there as well. Loads of like, Bitcoin stuff, or, someone's trying to like trick you into thinking you've got a new girlfriend or whatever, which obviously I fell for hook, line and sinker. I spent all my money today, I've got a lot of Twitter girlfriends now, and I'm looking forward to maybe one day never meeting them. No, I'm kidding. But I feel sorry for, like, if there were people out there that went, "Oh, fuck, I messaged that butler," fucking jumped up little git, don't fucking message me back. I had no idea there was a whole nother section on messages on Twitter that were for people that obviously message you that aren't your friend or something, or you don't follow them. So you want my emails? You want to know how many emails I've got? I have got on Gmail alone 5,093 unread emails. And I only opened up that account about a year ago. And most people I don't use that account very much. So he's lying. He ignored you all because he's big time. I wish I was big time. All that's big about me is my waistline. Big waistline. Well, 8% Nigerian though as well. What is this? I wish you were 8% more. Let's have another look at another video, guys. Have another little look-see at another video shebang-a-bang. What we got here? Have I done this one already? We've just done that one. What we got here? What we got here? Yeah, so this is the Maduro thing. Like, something very suspicious about that Maduro guy, right? I mean, he gets arrested, and before he even gets into, he's already been spotted 4 times wearing 4 different outfits. One of them being like some proper nice, I don't know, designer clobber. Whole thing about that is a strange one. Is he body doubled? What's going on? I don't know. He's changed his clobber more in 1 hour than I have in about 1 month. Not much to talk about.
So I remember Bobby Kennedy got into a great deal of trouble because he said at some event, of course, the New York Post led the charge against him, of course, but that COVID could be tailored. In fact, for whatever reason, COVID had disparate effects on populations.
That's absolutely true. I mean, that's scientifically true. And I was quite familiar with that literature when he made that.
What does that mean? Which populations suffered most from COVID? There was a finding in a scientific publication that 2 different populations of people of Jewish ancestry, depending which line they're from, one was more heavily impacted than the other. Mm-hmm. And that was Sephardic Ashkenazi.
Yes.
Basically.
And that was the finding. And I think the point that he was trying to make, or maybe didn't articulate well, is that the agent can be tailored to have that effect. And that's absolutely true. And that's through old gain of function technology. And with full synthetics, what I'm saying is you can make this so specific as that if I get your DNA, like off of, say that you threw a cup, I can tailor an agent just to you. And this is how it's changing. And if you're using AI behind that, I could then, and I say that I got a DNA sample from a couple of your relatives, so I knew what your family tree partially looked like. Machine learning is very good at actually random forest and tree decision making. You do a lot of complex AI behind this to figure out and make predictions that AI could about what your family tree looked like and have the disease travel through your family line.
Mate, this is the problem. This is the problem, right? I said at the start, I want to avoid certain topics if I can, because I don't need any more problems. And I spoke to my dad, right? And my dad said, you know, Sean, I haven't watched your conspiracy stuff. He goes, you are being careful what you say, aren't you? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, there's certain topics you shouldn't really talk about. I was like, well, I'm not really saying anything too crazy, but unfortunately conspiracies, you know, they tend to lean into certain areas of discourse, right? Like religion comes into it a little bit. He was like, yeah, I'd steer clear of that if I, you know, very strongly. I was like, oh, look, I'm not saying anything that's outrageous. We're just talking about as the thing comes up. He's like, did you know there was a YouTuber who criticized, a British YouTuber who criticized the Saudi royal family a couple of times? Not like a huge YouTuber, like probably, I don't know, 100,000 or whatever. And he's walking around London, and then suddenly some Saudi, allegedly, be careful here, allegedly some Saudi heavies, some mobsters or whatever, some big lumps, come up to him, smashed him up, and said, you're going to delete your channel, or next time it's going to be a lot worse. So that's the last time you're ever going to hear me mention the word Saudi on this channel. You know, I don't know anything about it. Saudi doesn't really come up into the zeitgeist for me. But unfortunately, these videos, this one here, Ashkenazi Jews, right? That their bloodline happens to be immune from the effects of the vaccine. If that's true, I don't know if it's true. No idea. If it's true, what are we supposed to do? Might as well, like, if we can't engage in certain conversations, even just like sort of dabbling over the surface, then there's not much you can really talk about in the world of conspiracy. We'll have to stick to moon landings and reptilians, I guess. Which is why I've titled the show Serpent Worship, UFOs and Moon Landings. Throw them off with the title. We'll just get shadow banned on that one anyway, because, you know, Google doesn't want to do nothing on that regard. It is what it is, you know? It is what it is. Oh, what's this? Oh, you got the story there, have you? Yes, he also worked for Michael Jackson and MC Hammer. Oh no, this is Jimbo. Jimbo worked for the Saudi royal family for 25 years as the head of security. So it was someone like Jimbo that was going around beating up this guy, was it? Sorry, it was me. It was DJ Riot. He basically brought up Prince Al-Walid bin Talal's son for 25 years. Did he pay him a lot? Did he pay a lot of money? When I was about 17 or 18, maybe 19, I forget, I had a mate who had a bunch of mates that were like separate from how I knew him. And one of them was the son of the Sultan of Brunei. And I remember going out with my mate one night, and he goes, oh, do you want to go to this party? I was like, oh, maybe. Who's there? He's like, there'll be a load of birds there, load of guys there. It's the Sultan of Brunei's son's birthday party. I was like, what? Yeah, okay, let's go. I thought it was like round the corner. We ended up getting like a limousine to pick us up from this guy. Sent a limousine to pick us up, and we drove all the way up to Oxford, which is a fair old trip. And there was like more bottles of what was that? What was that rapper bottle of champagne? It was like a Cristal. There's probably like 50 people at the party, and there was about 400 bottles of Cristal. I literally was like, I had two in my hand, one for drinking and one for spraying. Absolutely sensational. Sensationale. One of the, I don't know, best and also most ridiculous nights of my life. You know, Saudi boys love the gear, do they? Do they? I suppose so. I suppose it's pure as light as well, but it's absolutely delicious. They're not having any of that crap put in it, any of that fentanyl-laced nonsense, you know. Anyway, let's have a look at the next video. Where are we going? Let's go for this one.
But the one thing that I really wanted to talk about was the moon base. And you know, I've heard from whistleblowers, U.S. Air Force whistleblowers, who've been transported to the moon base. And I don't know. I know you can tell me. I think there are multiple moon bases, from what I understand.
Yeah, there is multiple moon bases. There is an arc on the moon as well.
Underground?
Underground. I think it is visible.
It is visible?
Yeah, I think.
Is it on the dark side?
It is in between. I think.
Do we know where on the moon?
We do know where. And I think
maybe you could. Do you have any idea specifically? Like, if I'm looking at the moon, because a lot of amateur astronomers are going to want to dial this in.
No, I do not know the exact location. Well, I can't give out the exact location.
Okay.
There's a lot of different countries involved. I know that. I know that there's another. I don't know if this is the first time people hearing this, but there's other people living in the moon that look Indian looking, and they got these egg-shaped crafts, and they're connected to ancient India. I could tell you that. And they're living in the moon, and they visit Earth now and then. And I think we have captured probably these egg-shaped crafts before, and I talked about it way before me interacting with a guy. His name is Lovint, and sometimes he picked me up in this egg-shaped craft as well.
And you believe he was an ET?
I believe he's a MT.
An MT. A moon terrestrial.
Yeah.
Right, a moon terrestrial. Wow. And he looks Indian.
They look Indian.
Yeah.
They look Indian
So he would pick you up in this egg-shaped craft. Is that egg-shaped craft similar to what was recently revealed in that News Nation report a few months ago?
Yes, sir.
Almost identical?
Yeah, identical. I think, yeah. It looks similar. Yeah.
The pilot described that crash retrieval as being overwhelmed, like an overwhelming connection spiritually to this thing.
Yeah. They're really spiritual people. They still have their traditions. They're really spiritual. Like they're way advanced because they implement the spirituality with technology.
Right.
So cool.
So you were transported to the moon how many times?
I remember once.
Once. And it was just you individually or with a group of other members of the
group of other people.
In this egg-shaped craft?
No.
In a different craft?
It looked like a TR-3B.
What are we saying on that one? We call him bullshit? We call him bullshit? The moon is a weird one for me because I'm caught up in so many different conspiracies on this one, right? First of all, part of the things that I believe in, like I believe in aliens and all that, part of me thinks that the moon is a spaceship. It's a spy camera. I 100% believe that Saturn is like the rings of Saturn is like a frequency that gets pointed towards Earth that keeps us trapped in our matrix, and that the moon is some sort of amplifier of that signal. So on that basis, I believe that the moon is real. I also kind of I don't believe for a second that the moon landings happened as they said they did in 1960. I don't believe for a second that they had the technology when the power of computers back then were less than an old iPhone 1. And yet they managed to get them there. And they said now, it's a painful process to build back the technology that we haven't done it anymore. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I kind of never believed we got there anyway. And then because of John, Teflon and Nikos, I'm dabbling more and more in this like flat earth thing. And I'm still open-minded. I'm not married to anything. So like, do I think the earth is flat? No. But do I think that there's some of the math within how the kind of the globe Earth is presented in terms of like the curvature and the mile squared, the thing like the curvature over the horizon? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense that you can see things that you shouldn't be able to see. So on that basis, I'm sort of like still open-minded on the whole flat Earth thing because I don't know for real either way. And if you believe in the flat Earth, then everything becomes up for conversation. I also believe that this disclosure thing, like all the time now, all these people are allowed to say all this stuff, right? They're not allowed to say any. Whoever he was, not allowed to say anything. But I'm kind of telling you, yeah, there was there's these egg-shaped crafts, and there's an ark on the moon. What the fuck is an ark, by the way? Like Noah's Ark, like an old boat. If that's the case, and he's saying yes, it's visible, it's somewhat in, somewhat out. It's sort of visible. Yes, we know where it is, but I can't tell you where it is. If you can't tell us where it is, then why are you even telling us it exists? right? All of that stuff doesn't make sense. If you know about those things, then you know that like there's obviously there's like the age of disclosure is for a reason. They haven't just suddenly decided to say, oh, you know what? I think the human population is now ready to know the truth. So they're doing it for a reason, which I think is all about Project Bluebeam. I think that's the way that they're going to finally get everybody to kind of conform to the new world order and the one world government, because it was Reagan, I think, that said, you know, that when you think about all of the division that's in the world, everyone's got a problem. The one thing that would unite us is if we faced an existential threat from an alien invasion. So Project Bluebeam for me is entirely real. So anyway, and then also that like the idea about the moon being a legit moon object, like a space object that just happens to sit in the perfect orbit where you've got tidal lock. For those of you who don't know what tidal lock is, it means that you never see the other side of it. Like as the Earth spins, it spins in at the same rate around it. Just happened to be by coincidence. No other moon does that in our solar system. Other moons spin at their own specific rotation, so you get to see the whole thing. But our moon doesn't. It happens to be in lock with the Earth's rotation. That's too much of a nonsense for me to get my head around. The fact that it's 600 times further away, 600 times smaller than the sun, and 600 times further away or whatever. So that's how you get the perfect solar eclipse. I don't believe in those sorts of coincidences. And so when you've got all of these various things that are like fucking with your head, and you go, well, I kind of believe in that conspiracy, and I kind of believe in that conspiracy, then I don't know whether I believe in egg-shaped craft. I'm going to sneeze. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know? But then also, I've seen those videos of the moon. Okay. I've also seen those videos of the moon from that geezer Crow 777, where he's got like the moon wave. Have you seen the moon wave video? It's mental. Like this camera sat there locked in, like the P900 or whatever it is, the Nikon P9000, and he zoomed in 9,000 times. So there's the moon looks massive, and it's just sat there, and all of a sudden this wave, like a wave in the ocean, goes over the entire moon twice. So it looks like it's like a giant earthquake that's happened that's sort of sending a ripple through it, or it's a glitch in the camera, but loads of other people have recorded this. This thing's been recorded loads of times now. I'll see if I can get some videos up in a minute. Or maybe it's a simulation, you know? Either it's nuclear weapons that are causing this shit, or it is a simulation. And so if it's a fucking simulation, then there's no such things as aliens, is it? Like everything is just fake. We're all fake, aren't we? If it's just a simulation, we are all just pixels, you know? And then that opens up its own can of worms. Because if it's a simulation, then all of a sudden God, the creator, well, it is real. God is real, but he's not some like old man with a beard who gives you the option of heaven and hell and a set of rules to follow. It's just some fucking, like, probably some nerd in his mother's basement who's really good with a computer in some other concept of existence that we can't even fathom because we're stuck inside the simulation. This is like Black Mirror stuff. By the way, have you seen Black Mirror? Fucking one of the greatest programs. If you guys, every single person here, there's 74 of you here, by the way, smash the like button. Every single person here should have watched every episode of Black Mirror. You know? So basically, for what it's worth, like, you know, I would be a God-fearing guy, but I'm not going to fear some spotty nerd in his basement who's like decided that he's playing Sim City. And by the way, if there are if there are people out there that are really in control, like I'm someone's character. If there's an alien somewhere else, right, in some other credible existence, and he's decided to like, I'm the character that he's playing. Fucking fix up, bro. You know, fix up. Get me like some upgrade pack. You know what I mean? Buy me a new skin. Like whatever it is that you're doing in this game called Earth, fucking, like, you're not doing a very good job. Let's be honest, okay? Could do with, like, I don't know, fucking a lottery upgrade, or fucking, I don't know, a youth serum, something. Because this ain't fucking, it's a bit of a waste of my time and yours. Let's be honest, right? We could be doing better, yeah? We could be doing better. So if you're up there and this is what we're dealing with, then figure it out. Figure it out. You know? No, I'm just asking for an upgrade, Desta. I'm just asking for an upgrade, mate. You know? Like that geezer, the lotto lout. Remember him? Remember him? He was like 21 years old, complete state of a bloke, a Burke of the highest order. His controller, the guy who's playing with his Xbox and he's in control of that guy, goes and buys him a lottery upgrade. Get me the fucking pack, bro. Get me a lottery pack. Get me something. Get me something going on. Yeah, Jews Nuts wants the upgrade. Yeah. You know what I mean? Playing with the gods. So, listen, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Just need a little lottery pack, you know? Get me the upgrade, bro. Or at least stop making me feel so bloody tired. I reckon he's tired. I reckon he's got himself a bird or something. My controller's got himself a bird and he's like, kind of getting a little bit bored of Sean right now. Just like, I'll put him on like low health mode for a while so he can have a kip. He's just keeping himself out of trouble, just sleeping it off for a few days. And I'll go and take the bird down Nando's, whatever their version of Nando's is, you know, trying to get a cheeky nosh or whatever. Priorities, mate. We're in this together. We're in this together. Help a brother out. Fuck's sake. Fucking hell. What are you doing here? Civilization by Sid Meier. Exactly. I don't think that's too much to ask for, is it? I don't think that's too much to ask for. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. It's Nikos. You going to come on and say hello, mate? Come on and say hello? Do some videos? At the moment, I'm just waffling, talking absolute bollocks as usual. We're just speculating on whether or not everybody has a controller. Everybody's got some geezer, some alien somewhere who's working on your upgrade packs, you know? Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, have a little go, yeah, from the lottery to a simple Nando. That's what he's on, the Nando's. I haven't been to Nando's for ages. Yeah, can we get? Listen, I don't know, something, right? Something. You know what? He threw me a bone earlier. I said to him, "Come on, lad. You know, don't need all of this." And West Ham winning today, 5 points, going to give me a bloody hernia. So he's going, "Oh fuck, all right, and you moany little git." If you don't ask, you don't get, though, people, right? Start asking your controller. Start asking for more, you know? Come on now. Give me that big dick upgrade pack. Well, yeah, that'd be nice too. That'd be nice too. You know? I think that we have to start to question what it is that's going on here. What it is that's going on. And back to the egg fucking aliens on the moon. You know, if we are in a simulation, then at some point they got to spice things up a little bit. But whoever it is that's running the rule, like on SimCity, they just go on, "Oh, my city's nice, my city's doing well. I'm probably just going to throw a tornado through it right now." push a button, and all of a sudden a tornado just comes through and wreaks havoc. Oh, hang about, my battery's about to die. Need to sort this one. Oh, let's get this going. Excuse me. Yeah, the shadows come down, isn't it? The shadow's my controller. 100%. Give me the 9-inch pack, please, Desto. Yeah. I need a few more percent Nigerian. I get that Nigerian upgrade. What is this? I want to play with more inches. Just for once, lad. Just for once. Like, can't you just send like an absolute weldie down the road who falls in love with Bugsy? You know, just some random serendipity, some random chance. Like, just wake up in the morning, right, and go, I think I'm going to make Butler's day a little bit better, you know? And then as I take the dog out, there is an absolute smoke show who's appeared out of nowhere in the arse end of Surrey. And she looks past, smiles at me, looks down, sees Bugsy and just goes, oh my God, you have to be my doggy too. You'll do, Sean. You'll do. And then me and Bugsy and the girl can live forever after. Just something like that. You know, I'm not asking for like billionaire status. I don't know what Elon Musk's controllers guy's doing. You know, he's obviously got the cheat code. Elon Musk has got the cheat code. L1, R1, L2, R2, up, down, X circle, triangle. And all of a sudden, ding, let's do PayPal. And then about an hour later in their time, which is probably like 5 years in our time, he's, oh, fuck it. That was fun. Let's do another one. L1, R1, R2, L2, left, right, X. Ding. Let's create Tesla. Like, come on, spread it around. Do better. Come on, you're getting done here. It's ridiculous. Come on now. SimCity was a great game. It was a great game. Yeah, it was a great game. I don't know what's going on there. You want a pub grub or fish scale, Sean? I think I'll say I'm on a pub grub scale, mate. I reckon. Yeah. I can't avoid some Elon bashing. Yeah, get yourself on here then, mate. Get yourself on here. Come on then. I need some help. 1 second. Yeah, Virginia Waters is quite nice. Problem is, when you walk around Virginia Waters, you're also amongst other people that have got better controllers going on, right? They got some better upgrades. And unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't choose your parents and you can't choose your controller in this life. It is what it is. Let's have a look at another video, shall we?
Britain first.
Not Israel?
Well,
I want to add my voice to all those who stand with Israel.
Do you think that immigration represents a major threat to Britain from a demographic perspective?
No.
Michael, how are you, guy?
Lawrence, I found something really interesting.
Listen, the videos, I don't pick the videos, right? The videos pick me. I've got hundreds of them. They're not all about that, but when those ones come up, you have to ask the question. Reform, he was on TV and he said, I am Britain, reform is Britain first. And then someone goes, not Israel first. He's like, well, I mean, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. They pick, yeah, exactly. They pick Butler. The videos pick me. The videos pick me. Find nature stuff, Sean, for the love of dog. I'm not a fan of nature. I live around a lot of it. And actually, I feel like nature's it pisses me off, if I'm honest. It pisses me off, you know. Pisses me off. I'll explain why on a different day. Kulu's elusive right foot, be up to you. He says, Sean, I've just watched a 2-part interview with a former high wizard from a satanic cult who claims he did spells for famous people. I think I've seen it. He's like an old school, like an old guy, right? He's quite fluent in his. He's quite easy to listen to. He can tell a good story. I don't know. I feel like maybe a little bit of that is a lot of bullshit because I think I've seen the video. He seemed to do like everything. He by the time he was like 23, he traveled everywhere, joined up to every cult, became the high priestess or the high priest of this and that, and it all felt a little bit like, you know. He was also saying that I think he's participated in child sacrifice and all this stuff, and I'm like, you're admitting crimes on camera. I don't know. Can you say that shit on camera and then just get away with it when the police knock on the door and say, did you just admit that you killed a child? And he's like, no, it's all personality. It's just part of the character. Isn't that what Alex Jones tried to pull when Alex Jones was done for the $1 trillion lawsuit for the school that I forget the name of the school. What was the name of the school? But yeah, when he said, oh, they were all crisis actors, and then when it all finally caught up with him, he was like, no, I'm Alex Jones. That's Mr. Box Office. You know, that's InfoWars, Alex. That's just a character. I don't really mean it. And then he ends up losing everything. I'm pretty sure, by the way, not to get back on the whole Israel thing, but Alex Jones used to be pretty harsh on Israel. Used to go pretty strong on them. And then from what I'd heard after that whole court thing, he basically doesn't own InfoWars anymore. InfoWars is now owned by someone else. He's basically a bitch now for someone else. And the way that he's changed his tune, the way that he calls out Candace Owens, and when Candace Owens is going after Erica Kirk and going after certain types of people about certain types of things with regards to Charlie Kirk issues. And Alex Jones, of all people, isn't like jumping on board that one because there's so much money to be made. Like Candace Owens is coining it in. And if there's a sniff of profitability, Alex Jones is all over that story like beans on toast. And yet on that one, him, Tim Pool, Stephen Crowder, they've all gone the other way and said, nah, there's nothing to see here. Candace Owens is just a demonic princess who is like horrendously wrong and so outrageously poor in taste to even consider that Erica Kirk or anyone at TPUSA would have anything to do with Charlie Kirk's murder. When if you look at the story, the idea that it was just some guy, some left-wing lunatic with his grandfather's gun is so far from plausible. So I'm very much on Team Candace on that one, 100%. Not because I know either way, but just because I think that the whole story is ludicrous. But all of the people that you would think would be latching on and going, let's make some money, let's make some money. Well, they're all saying that Candace is a lunatic. And I just wonder who it is and why that is. And I think there's a conspiracy there in and of itself. Let's bring in my man, Nikos of Nikosville. How you doing, Nikos? You okay?
What's going on, mate? My ears were tingling. Someone was bashing Elon, and I clicked on it on YouTube. I was like, oh my God, Sean's live. What's he up to? Didn't he get his boots through last night with 4 hours of streaming? All right.
No, listen, because I was going to sit there and do it. I was going to do an hour on Tottenham. And then I thought, over the last few days, I've kind of got, even like shameless butler when it comes to Tottenham transfer links, right? I'm so sick and tired of going on News Now and seeing what's the latest links. And it's always team talk. And it's always Dean Jones and Graham Bailey. And they just make shit up. Right? It's so obvious that like they're just going, oh, fuck it, we'll just throw out another one. And usually I'm like, oh, fuck it, that'll do. But even I'm getting a little bit bored of it. And so I'm like, even the last week, I haven't done any, like whenever I do an hour stream, after about 20 minutes of talking Tottenham, I spent the next 40 minutes doing stupid stuff like playing the guitar or donut costumes, jingles, having a laugh about random shit. So I thought, if I'm going to do that, I should probably do it on a channel that's more, you know, more non-Tottenham stuff. And he's got his Tottenham mug though. Very nice, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, no beers tonight. I'm on the tea tonight, mate. I feel a bit wavy after last night. It's the first time I've drunk in 5 weeks.
Mate, I felt like shit this morning. I woke up, I was like, oh my God. 3 Magalicious and about 3 of those bottles of cider. And absolutely insane.
Mate, I enjoyed the show last night. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been long overdue. I really enjoyed it. It was a really nice show.
Same. I really enjoy it as well. But like I said, like I was saying to the guys before you probably joined, I was like, I spoke to my dad, and my dad was like, listen, you know, I know you want to do all this stuff, but I'm sure there's things you can talk about that don't maybe put yourself in a bit of a bad spot. You know? So I think he's right. So, but like I say, it's fucking difficult, Nikos. It's difficult when I just pick videos at random, and everyone's always bringing it back certain directions. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Mate, you literally opened the show yesterday with that particular topic. I'm like, if you want to avoid these topics, maybe stop bringing them up.
Yeah, I know. It's my fault. It's my fault entirely, mate. My fault entirely.
Mate, I'll talk about anything. If that's the topic of the month, that's the flavour, then I'll talk about it. But yeah, I appreciate, obviously, it rubs some people up the wrong way, and you know, I don't want to cause friction.
No, it's not you, mate. It's me. It's me. I shouldn't be doing it. I've got to control my own emotions. Nikos, you got a channel, right? Have you got the channel? You can tell me what the channel link is or the name of it is, and we can get everyone.
Yeah, I've set up a channel today, actually, Tinfoil Transmission. I'm just working out all the logistic stuff about sort of going through the sort of StreamYard and picking out some stuff to talk about and sort of structure it a little bit. So, yeah, bear with me a little bit. But yeah, I like talking about this stuff every day, mate. I live and breathe this stuff, as you probably know. So, you know, like, I appreciate, obviously, you're busy with all the Spurs stuff, but the Spurs stuff is just, I just can't put that much time and effort into watching it, mate. It's just so demoralizing, sort of watching Spurs. So I love the conspiracy stuff, and I'm going to put myself out there and start talking about this stuff every day. So yeah, I've got a new channel called Tinfoil Transmission.
There it is, guys. There he is. There's 80 people here. I expect at least 30 of you to do the Lord's work. Do the Lord's work. Just hit the link, and it will open up a new tab, and just smash the subscribe button. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do a first video for the back end of next week. So I've got to, like I said, just got to do a bit of structural work on it and familiarise myself with some of it. I'm quite new to it also. Please bear with me. But yeah, I love this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. So there won't be any censorship on my channel. I appreciate that. So if you're if you're here for certain topics, you know, they won't be avoided on my channel. But my channel probably lasts about 3 days. So
fair enough. Stay there 1 second, mate. 1 second.
Big shout out to everybody in there. See Kate and Jimbo's in there. She's my favourite YouTube Tottenham creator. The bombshell that is Kate and Jimbo. In the chat there, I see. Eugene's in the chat, scrolling away as well.
Yeah, Eugene should be on. It's outrageous that he's sitting there saying, I can't come on, but he's still in the chat being a donut. You know,
yeah, let's just slander Elon for a little bit more and he'll come on.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So do you think Elon Musk got that upgrade pack? Do you think he's like, I think if we are in a simulation, mate, if we are in some sort of simulation, I know you believe in God, but that God might not necessarily be the fluffy haired old man in the Bible God. It might be just the creator, right? Which might be some geek in a basement somewhere in a different alien, and he's in charge of all of us.
Maybe. I think it's a shield, to be honest. I think it's a Jesuit shield.
Elon Musk.
I think he's just a face for a government entity, or he's a face for somebody. You know, like I said, if you live in America and you're from another country, you're not allowed to get this wealthy. It's just the rule of law in America or any other country. You can't be the richest man in the country generally if you're from somewhere else. And you don't get government contracts with NASA and, you know, all the other things he's got. You know, he's basically hindered. He's about to step into the telecommunication world. You know, he's taken down all the satellites for all these internet companies. Like, you're not allowed to do this. You know, you're just not. So there's definitely something that doesn't rub me up right with him, but I'm not a fan. Personally.
Fair enough.
I think I made it quite clear on all shows. I'm not a fan.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine. Yeah, listen, the logic makes sense. What you say, the logic makes sense. You don't get to be that wealthy and that paurful unless you've paid your due.
Usually a front for something. Usually these people, like I said, there's a few good examples we can use, but generally these kind of people are used as a front for people that don't want to have their face put on stuff. And people like him are used, abused, and then they swan off into the sunset with a bag of cash and then they'll do them again. But
There you go, mate. You're on 29 subs now, Nikos.
Oh, bloody hell. I've only just started the channel today.
Well done, mate. Well done, buddy. Well done.
There's not any content on there. You might find a little video on there of my little dog. If you're into little dogs, there's a little Jack Russell on there from about 10 years ago or something that, you know, when I got him, I adopted him. He was a little puppy playing around with his little ball. But I will do something for back end of next week. I will do something next week. And yeah, I want to do this regularly 3, 4, 5 times a week. So just a case of just finding all the videos and setting things up.
So you guys in the chat are assuming that when I put the that's right, mate. When you put the when I put the camera on and the mute on for a camera off for a second, you guys think I'm having a bump, don't you? I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. I wish. You know, not at the moment though. The old.
That's a young man's game.
The shizzle McNizzle was a young man's game, and these days it's cut with horrible shit. So it's it doesn't make you feel. It makes you feel good for about 5 seconds, then absolutely atrocious for the next 5 hours. Horrendous. Oh, Destiny's on it. Destiny's on it tonight, is he? Big up to you, Desto. Have a good time, son. Have a good time. All right, let's do a video. Shall we? Let's see where we're going with this one.
To open the door and they have a warrant?
They don't have a warrant.
They said they'll get one.
They said they'll get one.
Okay, if they get one, then they're going to break the door down.
That's fine, but I don't want to open the door if they don't have a warrant. Because this was my DoorDash lady. I don't even know the lady. She just ran to my house.
Okay. All right.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm so scared. Barricade.
They're looking at our backyard, too.
They're looking at everything. They're everywhere. All because I ordered some fucking DoorDash food.
Okay. But this is the thing. Even if they get the warrant, they're coming in your house. They're not going to leave. So we need to come up with a solution to do this peacefully, right?
Oh my God.
It's a long video. I think I get the picture, right? I think the picture is that some ladies ordered some food. She's obviously a law-abiding American, and then one of the people that delivered the food was a lady who's obviously someone from Mexico or wherever. And then ICE are chasing after her, and then she's caught in the moral hazard of do you let the ICE in to get the woman, or do you protect them? I mean, that's what do you think? What do you make of all that, mate? Like, generally speaking, like I do have an issue with the immigration problems in the UK. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's horrendous, and I think in Europe it's the same. I think your country in Spain, because they signed a bill, didn't they, last week, that's basically going to give a blanket green card to 500,000 people that shouldn't have it, and then they'll be able to then get, you know, all of their benefits everywhere they want in Europe, which I think is ridiculous. At the same time, though, when you see the other side of the coin, which is the clamping down on it all the way that Trump and his ICE team are doing in America, and you see those individual stories there, like some woman who's just trying to do her job and probably pays taxes and all that stuff, and then ICE are just like indiscriminately just rounding them all up. It's pretty horrible as well, you know.
The problem is in America, like obviously under the Biden administration, they let in an unprecedented amount of illegal immigrants in every way, shape, and form they could, and this is, you know, I guess just a way of solving it. Just round up as many of them as you can, regardless how long they've been there, and, you know, just tarnish them all with the same brush. And if you haven't got the right papers, off you go. It's very Gestapo, isn't it? Very Nazi Germany feeling.
Yeah. Which way do you land on it though?
I mean, again, I've kind of got a bit of a conflict of interest because I'm an Englishman living in Spain. So, you know, like I would love it if they gave me a green card forever and decided to give me some money and housing, but I don't get those kind of benefits here. So, I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't get them, but someone from Africa would.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't get them. Yeah, I wouldn't get them. There was when the UK withdrew from the European Union, there was like a Brexit agreement that was made. But all the British people here, expats and stuff, we have to go through a big rigmarole of documentation and work visas and stuff like that. And I just see people every day turning up, you know, fresh off boats, and I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? But, you know, it's a little bit less noticeable here because it's such a bigger country in terms of like landmass. It's not quite as obvious as it is somewhere like the UK. But yeah, it's a problem, you know, like I don't really have too much of an opinion either way on it, but, you know, it's their country. They can run it how they like. If they've got loads of illegal immigrants running around, like they want to ring them up and send them home, then so be it. You know, good luck to them.
Yeah, 100%. It's just difficult because when you see those stories from inside the situation room like that, it's just makes you kind of go, "Fuck, that's tough." You know, I wouldn't know what to do if someone broke in.
I'd like to see it happen in England, to be honest.
Well, I'd like to see them clamp down. I'd like to see them stop the people coming that haven't got here yet. As far as the people that are here, I'd like to see some vetting, some ability to actually figure out who these people are, and less piss taking, and obviously prioritize people that are on the streets that are English before they fix everyone else's problems. I'm on board with all that, but at the same time, if I like rang for an Uber Eats, and then some geezer comes around and delivers, and then suddenly there's flashing cars, and he or she runs into the house, and it says, please close the door, please close the door. They're going to take me away. Like, I feel like a proper CUNT if I went, come on lads, in you come. He's hiding in the kitchen. You know, I don't think I would do that. I don't think I could do that. You know,
it's not just not your business, is it? You know, like
it's hard. It's hard.
Tough, mate. It's a very difficult subject, I must say.
It is.
There's not many subjects I'm kind of like a little bit kind of lost on, but that's one of them. I don't really have too much of a sway away.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. All right, let's fight. We'll see where we're going with this one.
Is that the British royal family has been flat-lie royal since 1840. Explain that.
Did we do this one yesterday or not?
No.
Is that the British royal family has been flat-lie royal since 1840. Explain that. Flat-lie royal means illegitimate, not allowed on the throne. So, from the Battle of Waterloo, the British royal family lost all their money, and they've been funded by the Rothschilds in exchange for breeding rights. So the Rothschilds had the breeding rights to the British royal family from 1819 to 2019.
So what was the purpose of the Rothschilds needing this?
The British royal family were virtually bankrupt from 1815. So the Rothschilds funded the British royal family in exchange for the Rothschilds breeding the royals. So the whole British royal family are Rothschild Batards. And Batard is the royal name for bastard. So what I did in my legal documents is I exposed King George V of England as being sired by Tsar Alexander III of Russia, and I exposed Queen Elizabeth II as sired by artificial insemination by Winston Churchill, who was actually the illegitimate son of King Edward VII.
Hang on.
I know, it gets too much, so I'll show you a chart.
Okay, so you've got it all laid out for us to see?
Absolutely.
You mentioned this last night, didn't you? You thought like the current royal family is a bunch of liars.
That explained it better. Basically, the English royal family were bankrupt, and the Rothschilds decided to give them money on the understanding they could be royal, and you know that explained it perfectly. That's why there was the King Charles. You know, we were talking about yesterday that the actual real heir to the throne is actually in Australia, some born in Australia. But yeah, it makes sense, you know, like if you're going to give this much money and support a country, and we said yesterday as well, like the King of England is actually handed over the keys to the world by the Pope. So there's like actually like a multiple benefit of actually doing it on their behalf. But this is how they get to run the world. But yeah, how do they get so much bloody money?
Do you know what I did into that? I actually asked on Grok. I said, "What? How did the Rothschilds?" Because I know the story of Mayer Amschel Rothschild and how he sent his 5 sons to the 5 banking capitals of Europe. Right, one in London, in Paris, in Berlin, in Vienna, and in somewhere else, Zurich, maybe. I think it was. Yeah, I think you're right. And I was like, that's cool. So I know the story about like, you know, how they had the people in the Battle of Waterloo that managed to break the lines first and got back to the London Gilt Exchange and basically said, you know, we've won the war. And then that the English, James Rothschild, I think it was, sold everything. And then everybody else went, oh, he knows we've lost, we're fucked. So everybody else sold, and then he bought it back for pennies in the dollar and essentially owned the Bank of England. I know that story, but I was like, yeah, but how did the dad make his money? And apparently he was just a nobody, like he grew up in a Jewish village, like a Jewish majorly populated Jewish village in Vienna, I think it was. And he would go down to this local market and he would buy coins. He was a coin dealer, coin trader, yeah. And then from there was very good at it, got the relationships going, and then started doing loans and started doing kind of old school banking. Sort of like what the Freemasons were doing, not the Freemasons, the Knights Templar were doing. So it's amazing, isn't it? Like what one geezer just does a bit of coin trading and then basically controls the world ever from then on.
It's amazing, yeah. It just seems like they've got an extreme amount of wealth over a very short period of time. You know, like think how long the royal family would have taken to accumulate all of its land, assets, wealth. You know, they've got diamonds from all over the world from the last hundreds of years that they've taken from colonies and stuff. You know, all of a sudden some guy comes in, gives them a bit of money, and you know gets the breeding rights to the family. Like it's incredible, really, a story if it's true.
See, if someone gave me £10 million or £100 million, I don't think I would turn that into like 100 billion and become a world leader. I think I would just sit on a beach somewhere with copious amounts of everything you shouldn't do, and just have a fucking good time. You know, I'm not trying to fix anyone else's problems. I'm just trying to have a good time. You know, you're only on this planet for a couple of years, so. 1-1 Liverpool Newcastle, by the way. 1-1 Ekitike again. He's so good. So good.
That kind of money, like 10 million, for example, is enough. Just generational money for most people, even in the economy we're living in now. Like 10 million is generational money. You're being greedy if you're going for more than that. But yeah, these people have got an extraordinary amount of money.
Have you seen the pictures of the Rothschild woman who's always wearing the Baphomet? Have you seen those? All of the pictures of like when they had their parties in like the 80s and 90s, whatever the Rothschild, the guy who's just died recently, forget his name, but his wife, Baroness Rothschild, whatever her name is, all of the pictures of her in all of the parties. Let me see if I can find it. Rothschild party, Baphomet. Yeah, so hang about. So like all of the pictures they have, and these pictures are just weird kind of like with masks and just like all like the kind of multiple mask faces. All of the pictures are always like that one there as well. That's this guy here is wearing the mask. That idea was like some murderer in the 1800s that would cut people's heads off or cut people's faces off, and then would put them like create masks out of them. And he's obviously just representing that. There's obviously pictures of her. Where is she? Where is Baroness Rothschild ring? Baroness Rothschild Baphomet necklace. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here?
She looks like a dude.
She probably is a dude, mate. She probably is a dude.
She's a rich dude.
Things, aren't they? What's this? Fucking snake in the eye of a skull. She's a look at this one as well. All of the things that she wears are like, look at that picture of the devil. This one here is a picture of the goat with the horns. Do you think that they made their money through just like the story being legit, that it's just coin trading, or do you think it's like they're tapped into some evil spirits that they've sold their souls and then they've got the kind of the wealth that way?
Yeah, they're probably one of these families that would have made those like legacy agreements with the devil. You know, like the stuff we talk about Hollywood, about they sell their souls and stuff like that. It's probably one of those like families that have tapped right in at the early stages and benefited all along the way. They do a lot of inbreeding, so that there's not very any money that ever leaves that family, you know. But yeah, I think they're Satanists. I think it's all ritualistic. I think it's all worshipping the devil, and you can make a lot of money out of it. You know, if you're willing to compromise all your morals, you know, you can make a lot of money.
But do you think they're all willing to go to hell, or do you think they've been told it's all a load of bollocks, right? Like, yes, like all you got to do, right? You sign your name and blood or whatever. You're not actually going to go to hell. All you're going to do, though, you're going to have to do some deeds that are going to satisfy these people. But like when you die, there's no hell anyway. It's just like there's the realm that we operate in. There's the realm that's the spirit world. The spirit world can help you have a good time in this world, but all you've got to do is lead the world's masses towards more pain, more suffering, because they feed off of that energy. But in terms of like what are the consequences for you when you die, there are none, because it's when you die, you die. That's the end of consciousness. There's no hell, there's no heaven, there's no God. Or do you think that they're actually willing to say, you know what, fuck it, I'll take 85, 90 years of fucking great time, and then I'll deal with the consequences of hell later? What do you think it is?
I think they're generally brought up to believe that they're in the right, and that the God that they believe in, they believe that he is the rightful God and he's the right path. And I think it's indoctrination, probably from a very, very young age, in all these rich society families. And when you get into these rich families, you know, it's very egotistical, as you know. You know, if you worked in London, you know, once you start sort of accumulating and being around money, you know, morals generally go out the window a lot of the time. So
yeah, for sure. There's only one moral, right? It's not right or wrong. It's Like the only right or wrong that these people care about is, was it right to do what we did, or was it the wrong? Like, was it the right decision, or was it the wrong? There's no like what's the word? Morality completely goes out of the window. They're not thinking about the consequences for you or anybody else. It's just, is it the right decision or the wrong decision to do what we're going to do, and fuck the consequences for everybody else? There's no morality in it at all. But
yeah, I think there's two sides. I think there's two sides in this stuff. I think there's always a battle between good and evil, and some of these people are just aligned with the other side of what we generally would think would be good. So I think these just.
But they don't think it's evil, though.
They don't think it's evil. No, they know that a spiritual war with. Remember, we talked about the Egyptians with the Ra battle. You know, going back and how they had to. He lost his eye and looking for his dick and all that kind of stuff. You know, like these kind of like factions have been there through history, good, bad. Which side are you on? And I just think these are on generally the bad side. I don't know. I'm not none the wiser than anybody here, but just.
But the story always ends with the good triumphs over evil, right? That's always the story in the end. But I can't see the good conquering the evil. The evil have got too much money, too much access to technology, and too many fucking donuts in the good side that are willing to just be sheep and just frog march themselves towards the cliff like a lemming. I don't know how good triumphs in as it is right now.
Intervention, maybe if God is the ruler, maybe he intervenes somewhere along the line. But I don't know.
Well, hasn't he intervened already then? Again, Mr. Controller, if you can't do it on a global level, at least step in and help this guy. Help me out, bro. Give me an upgrade, mate. Give me a fucking. I need that pack, bro. I need that new skin. You know,
mate, life is a test. Life is a test. So sometimes you need to have a bit of a rough ride to have a test. Otherwise, it's not a test, is it?
That's true. That's true. All right, let's have another look, see another video, shall we? See where we go with this one.
But the one thing that I really
done that one already. That was a load of weirdo egg-shaped craft. What's this one?
What? What?
Ah, okay. Okay, so same thing as what they did with Patagonia. We spoke about the Patagonia one last night, right? But this one, it's the all of the burnt from the Palisades, from all the beautiful land there. They've passed a bill that allows NGOs to buy that land up on the cheap from those homeowners who've got no option because they can't get it rebuilt. Fucking disgrace, mate.
Disgraceful. If you've got eyes to see, mate, you can see what's going on, mate. It's all a big land grab for whatever reason, whether it be because they want to source the minerals out the ground, or they want to live in a nicer climate, or if there's a nuclear war fallout or whatever. You know, this is the idyllic place to be situated, or for whatever reason. But it's quite clearly a land grab. I think we spoke about a few of them over the last few years, but the one in Malibu, the one in Hawaii, you know, there's been a lot of them in the last few years that, you know, laws have been changed, fires have been started, and, you know, big real estate companies have bought up, you know, vast amounts of the available land. And, you know, people that have had generations of their life on these particular locations have just been shipped out with very minimal compensations, you know. It's quite savage, to be honest.
It is savage, mate. 100%. 100%. Where's their upgrade pack? Where's their controllers as well? Come on, guys. Figure it out. Get the cheat code.
There's a group called the Illuminati. Who are the Illuminati? Make a long story short, there are 13 families that control the resources and the entire planet. And they have their ancestry goes all the way back to Sumerian times. And where they changed into the Babylonians, they became the Khazars. They entered into Europe, where they merged with the Celtic remnants or the Atlantean refugees, which became the Merovingians. And then that, over the centuries, broke into 13 distinct families that controlled Europe at the time, and then now the entire planet.
And are there names to these families?
Yes, you know, you have the Windsors, the Rothschilds, the Romanovs, the Sinclairs. There's a very wide range of Illuminati, but even more so is the range underneath the 13, which is the Committee of 300, which are 300 families that work very closely in association with the Illuminati to accomplish the goals.
You mentioned that in your book, that another way of describing the Illuminati is the New World Order.
Bit standard stuff, that one, mate, isn't it? I think we know this one already.
I think we've done it before, I think.
Oh, have we? Oh, apologies. All right, let's move on. Let's see what this little dickhead's got to say.
I think the reality is that for centuries, we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good. and we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good and towards a model of shared equity will require that we think about it differently. And it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners as well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one that we currently have.
I think we did that yesterday. I think Eugene mentioned that she was quite a powerful person in America, and it's quite scandalous.
Oh, did we? Oh, sorry, my bad. You're right, we did. Yeah, we did.
With her, but I think Eugene said she's like a
second in charge. She's second in charge to that Mamdani guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, New York or whatever it is. But yeah, I know there's a bit of an uproar about what she's been talking about and stuff. But yeah, New York's fucked.
New York is fucked, mate. Same as London. All right, let's have a flip. Let's flip again. See where we go. Just spin the wheel. Oh dear, you can't avoid them. You can't avoid it. So the judge that rejected Trump's plea for a pardon has been ended up in a traffic accident. Fuck's sake, mate. I mean, what are we doing here? This is what you're dealing with, right? This is what you're dealing with. If you, and this is the problem. This is the problem. Like, this is why nothing's ever going to change with Farage getting into power, or the next Conservatives, or the Green guy, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. Because at some point, those people get to a position of power and they get a tap on the shoulder that says, look, you've got two options, but they both lead the same way, right? You either get on board us, you're going to do as you're told, and we'll make you fabulously wealthy, both, after you've done your job, whilst you're here, or you're going to die. And it's not just, boy, I'm not just saying that about the Netanyahu thing. I'm saying that wherever the influence is coming from, powerful people are going to say, you're only here because we allow you to be. And if you don't play ball, bad things are going to happen to you, your family, and it's not going to end well. But if you just do as you're told, then everything's cool. It's like the carrot and the stick at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a great example of why I come to that conclusion about Elon Musk as well. Elon Musk is putting companies, that have lasted centuries out of business, like overnight, setting up satellites, taking over car companies, setting up telephone communication companies, taking over banking cartels. Like, he's putting, a lot of people's livelihoods at risk that have built empires, and he's still allowed to just swan around and, do nothing, and nothing happens to him. But some guy who doesn't agree with pardoning a guy who's got an ICC warrant out for his arrest, apparently gets killed in an accident. So yeah. I agree. I think if you don't agree and don't play ball, you get taken out, so you play ball and, you're allowed to have some of the fruits of the labor. But
yeah, same bird, different wings, DJ, right? 100%, mate. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Only go a couple more. We'll go until 1 hour 30, so 12 more minutes. Is that okay with you, mate? Appreciate it, mate.
Fine, mate. It's perfect.
Just wanted to have a little chat. Oh, look who's turned up! Look who's here! Houdini!
Hey, I'm like need to jump off anytime, so I'm just here to say hi and to to see what's going on.
You want to defend your boy Elon, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh well, of course. There was some slander, some unacceptable slander, so I'm here.
I'm always happy to be proven wrong. If I'm wrong, show me how I'm wrong, but I just can't see how I'm wrong with it, with Elon, to be honest.
The band is back together. We need to get Susie back on. A little bit of, we obviously need to bring Teflon John on. We now got Adam Score Drawlock. We need to expand the group a little bit. I think I saw Kate from Kate and Jimbo wants to come on.
Oh, we'd love to have a chat with Kate.
Oh, she's fun.
Yeah,
fun time girl. Right, let's do a video. What's this one? I've got no idea what these are.
Jeffrey Epstein negotiated the fucking contract to move the CIA's proprietary airliner, Southern Air Transport, which was busted running drugs and guns during Iran-Contra. He personally was the authorized signatory on the deal with Southern Air Transport to move it to a military base in Columbus, Ohio to service the limited. Hey, any of you guys got any bright ideas about how you would go about in 1994 convincing the Central Intelligence Agency to move its proprietary CIA airline used for covert operations based in Miami to fucking up and move its entire operation to fucking Columbus, Ohio, just to service your personal company instead of the CIA? What do you think, he cold called the CIA? You think he just schmoozed the CIA? Or is it because he was handling out on Khashoggi's money during Iran-Contra that purchased the guns that Southern Air Transport a decade earlier was moving?
Mate, have you guys looked at the latest files? Have you
I
seen,
haven't.
seen
I
any of them?
was going to look tonight actually, but
Mate, this geezer is, first of all, I don't for a second believe he is unalive, right? I think he is 100% in that 1 minute little clip that was cut out of the thing. I think that was the time when he was taken out of and then replaced with someone else's body, whatever. I think he is or was, but is still alive. But I think he's so much more powerful than anyone gave him credit for. Like some of the stuff that's in there. So that one there, right? That he's reorganizing the airline of the CIA. He also he's called out in those Epstein files. The things that have been leaked. Bill Gates written message to him saying, "I need you to get me some antibiotics." He wrote a draft email that he didn't send, and in the draft email it said, "Bill Gates has asked me. He keeps pandering me to get him some antibiotics because he caught as an STD from some young Russian girls that he was shagging, and that he's given it to Melinda Gates." And he needed some specific type of antibiotics that he could like somehow crumble up and put into her spaghetti bolognese or whatever, right? And obviously Bill Gates is like, it's not true. It's not true. I would never do that. But we know that Melinda Gates like divorced Bill Gates or broke up with him very much because of the whole the Epstein thing. There's so much that's come out in the last couple of. Even your boy Elon Musk is caught up in it, by the way, Eugene. Elon Musk was going to be going to. He was supposed to meet up on the Epstein Island for fun, for quote unquote, for fun and games. And then eventually he didn't go. He had to cancel the trip because he was stuck in New York or something. But this guy was by far the most powerful. He wasn't just working for Mossad. I think he was like legit. Sorry, that's one of the stories I forgot to say. Apparently, is it something Abid Barak or something? The guy that was the ex-Israeli Abud Barak. He had to reach out to Epstein and ask Epstein to set up a meeting with Vladimir Putin. So Epstein has the connections, the ability to just drop an email to old Vlad and say the ex-Israeli prime minister needs a meeting with you. Is that cool? And it's all done. It's all organized. If the ex-Israeli prime minister doesn't have the connections himself to be able to do that, but he can go through Epstein to be able to do that like that at the drop of a hat. Hey, Jeff, I need you to set me up with Vladimir Putin. What in God's green earth level of power and access was Epstein? Like,
who was he really? Who was he really?
Who was he really? Yeah.
But you got this all upside down, Sean. And Nikos knows the podcast, Nikos that Ascension, right? It all goes into all the details. The powerful person here isn't Epstein. I mean, he was too. It's Ghislaine. Her father was a double agent for both the CIA and the Mossad. He had millions and millions. She's got the connections. So she made Epstein, right? Epstein was her sidekick, not the other way around.
You reckon?
So Epstein was like a free agent, for example.
So why is she in prison for 40 years?
What's that?
Why did her old man fall off the back of a boat, quote unquote, fall off the back of a boat? He was killed.
So I'll tell you why. So I think he wanted to blackmail Mossad. There was some info. He wanted money for it, and you don't do that. So they took care of him. However, so as far as Epstein, his sudden rise right? He was completely unqualified to become a math teacher in some college, and that's the college where all the like old money went, all the connections were there. He was put in that position by the CIA, by certain people, and those people had connections to Ghislaine and her father. So she's the one with all the power.
But
So
why would
Epstein,
if
he didn't work.
Ghislaine's dad pissed off Mossad, why would they trust Ghislaine?
She inherited his business.
Exactly. She ran the business, the family business. So he didn't work, like Epstein didn't work for Mossad or the CIA. He was a free agent, right? He worked for all the intelligence services. If they need something, they go to him. Like they went to Ghislaine's dad, and he set things up. So I want to talk to Putin. I want to do this. I want to make, I want to launder money. I want to wash money. I'm going to go to him. So he worked for all the intelligence agencies. But the brains and the money of the operation was her. He was just a guy. He was a front.
So
but
why is she in prison for 40 years then?
So she's still alive and she'll get a pardon. The reason why she's not dead yet, the reason why Trump will give her a pardon, she has the info. I'm sure she's got the dead man switch, and she can put everybody away. So the reason why she's still there is.
But why didn't they just like pretend like she's dead?
What do you mean?
They don't want the information coming out.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying not kill her. I'm saying like she's had to spend the best part of what 6 years now in a horrible prison. Like if she's the power one, why didn't they just do something like they? Do you actually believe Epstein's dead?
Yeah.
No chance, mate. No chance.
There's no reason. Why keep him alive? Like there is no reason. He's not.
He's probably got his own dead man switch.
No, but she's the one. Like
they both would have had all the access. They both would have had all the info. Right? He was the guy that was like going to all of the AI conferences, and all the tech bros were trying to get information. Like they were, but just because one podcast said that doesn't mean that's.
No, I'm not saying it's the truth, but I'm saying, but it's like her father. Her father was the most decorated, like Mossad agents of all time.
I know, yeah.
And they took care of him when he became an inconvenience. So it doesn't matter how big you are, whether you're Epstein or whoever else. If you're an inconvenience, they'll take care of you. And he was it. But for some reason, they think that Ghislaine is gonna play ball. So she's still alive. I think it's that simple.
But they could have just like said, like they do with all of them. They could have just said, oh yeah, like Osama bin Laden, right? They were looking around the caves for 9 years or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden it was, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Oh, and by the way, also we killed him, and he also he's been let off the back of a sea in a typically Islamic sea burial. And everyone's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no. Fuck off. I don't believe that for a fucking second, right? That's just all very convenient. We got him, he's dead, he's gone. Now let's get back to creating more war. Absolute bollocks. The whole story's absolute bollocks. But if you're going to do that and they get away with it every time, why couldn't they just do it with Ghislaine Maxwell? Why did they actually have to go through the trial, send her to prison, and all the kind of furore? If she had died like he had died, and it was like, oh, she committed suicide in prison, and oh, by the way, the videotape's also down that day, there'd be no more connections. But the fact that she's still alive, there's part of the reason why people still say, how is it that she's in prison for people trafficking? Who was she trafficking them to? We need the answers. And that's the story won't go away, partly because she's still alive. So if she was this big time player that's going to get protected, then she still had to face 10 years in a brutal maximum security prison. That would be horrendous for someone who's had such a wonderful life, her entire life, right? Life of luxury, doing whatever she wants, to go from that to go to like a maximum security. I don't think that makes sense. Sorry. I think that if she was the big I am, I think they would have given her an easy way out and pretended like she was offed, and then she's just snuck out the back door and she's living in Patagonia somewhere. No one's going to
be shocked if she's not actually in prison, even though they obviously say that she's in prison and she's on remand waiting trial and stuff. But would you be shocked if she's just turning up for trials and stuff like that and not actually in any prison? Would you be shocked?
No, I wouldn't be shocked, but I just think the story's easier. It's a lot easier story just to say that what happened to Epstein happened to her.
She is with Diddy somewhere on an island, and Tupac. So they're all hanging out on some
Yeah,
island.
yeah, and Elvis and
Exactly,
Jacko, Wacko Jacko. You know?
I think Eugene's right though. I think it's more to do with the Maxwell family and what they controlled. Before, when I first got into conspiracies, like in the 1980s, he was like the forefront of double agents and stuff like that. You know, Epstein didn't come around till like the late 90s, early 2000s. You know,
He was some random guy who just randomly got all that power and wealth without any history of being anybody. He wasn't very smart. It just doesn't make sense that he was the mastermind. He wasn't particularly.
It's pretty easy to get wealth very quickly if you happen to bump into people and know people that are very wealthy, and then you happen to say, "Listen, do you want? Have you met my mate Sarah? She's 18." And then you go in there and you record it and go, "By the way, she wasn't 18; she was 15."
But that's a big operation, Sean. In order,
it doesn't have to be, though, does it? It doesn't have to be. You know.
I think the key to
you get a bloke drunk, you put a little something in his drink, and you make him get a little bit frisky and a little bit like adventurous, and then but by the way, this is this smoke show I was telling you about. She's got the nod to give him a little thigh rub or whatever, and then you can go upstairs if you want. I've got a room up there. Thanks very much. Why would you suspect that you're going to get honeypotted?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that guy's worth £1 billion. That Lexner guy, whatever his name, Wexner. And then all of a sudden, by the way, she wasn't 18, she was 15. And by the way, we've got it on camera. And by the way, I'm going to need this house. Thanks very much. And that's where it starts.
But you don't get people with power don't just get involved with random people. The reason why they all went to an island, because they knew that their secret would be safe there, right? Since they're like, okay, everybody's going. You don't just go, hey, some random guy wants to hook me up with some girl, right? Like, in order, again, for somebody to get the level of trust and the power that he's gotten, you have to be propped up by somebody else. So he got his start by the CIA and Ghislaine and her dad. That's how.
How did he meet Ghislaine?
Huh?
How did he meet Ghislaine?
Through, I think, the CIA when he became. I don't recall exactly. But
that's the thing, though, right? You're saying random people don't just suddenly get connections in big places, but you're making out like he was just a random person that suddenly knew Ghislaine Maxwell. So there's a loophole.
I just don't remember exactly how it started, but I'll get back to you.
How the story that podcast wants you to have,
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
you got to ask the question: who made the podcast? Right? Who's the podcaster? And it's just that my reptilian face is re-emerging. Give me a second, guys. Let me fix the camera.
What is this? Nikos, are you seeing this?
What's that?
Did you see his face turn red?
Yeah, it's his camera.
Oh,
I don't
know. Is it?
I think I agree with you. I think Epstein got that island in 1998. He acquired it for 7.9 million off of a guy called Art Cumming. So, like, if you're going to put into like the time frame, if you've acquired that island in the late 1990s and you've been familiar with the Mossad operation going back into the 80s, he's come into the picture somewhere later. And also as well, he bought Great St. James, which was like the neighboring island in like 2016. So like Epstein's come into this money like in the late 90s. So it would make sense that he's not the face of the operation. He's a beneficiary of the operation, to me.
I think that guy was far too powerful. I think you might be right. By the way, I used to read up about Jordan Maxwell. Robert Maxwell. Sorry, Jordan Maxwell, the other one. Robert Maxwell. Used to read up about Robert Maxwell all the time. The way he felt that story. I remember being in the Sun. The Sun owner falls off the back of the back of a boat. Nothing to see here. I'm sure it was around the same time that Eric Clapton's son fell out of a window, which was also like there was and that's where the Tears in Heaven song came from. It was all suspicious whether or not there was more to that whole thing. But so I'm very familiar with what Robert Maxwell was into and his connections with Rupert Murdoch and all these things. But there's no question of a doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't just someone that was just his bit on the side. 100% she brought her connections as well. But I genuinely do think, and I think you're right to say, like, how do you go from just being a nothing maths teacher to suddenly this guy? But I definitely think that he was, as time went on, I think he became a very, very powerful guy. Maybe he was like coming up with ideas of how to honeypot and how to how to trap people in these situations. But
What's
ultimately,
interesting,
go on,
so what's interesting to me about Robert Maxwell is his best friend was Piers Morgan. And when Robert Maxwell died, Piers Morgan literally moved out the country to America, like literally the same like week. So there's some sort of type of connection. And also as well, if you watch the Piers Morgan shows that he's done, he's got a show on YouTube now called Uncensored. He's actually had a lot of representatives from the royal family and from the Maxwell family. And, I think he's actually interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's something that ties in with Piers Morgan too, which I can't quite put my finger on.
Yeah, Piers Morgan's got. But listen, Piers Morgan is a fucking like. Don't get me wrong. I like watching Piers Morgan's show because I do like just absolute chaos of people screaming and shouting at each other. A bit like Spurs 5 at times, or whatever. But like, I do think that guy there's something very fishy about his past for me. Like
100%.
the fact that he was more than happy to hack Millie Dowler. Do you remember Millie Dowler, the young girl who got who was molested and killed by? It happened in Walton-on-Thames, which is just down the road from me. I forget the guy's name. He was like a horrendous human being who went to prison for other crimes and then basically pinned it on him later. And he then converted to Islam and in prison to protect himself. But I'm trying to think of his name. But anyway, yeah. But at the time, when the family got the phone back, they went into the phone messages on her phone, and they'd already been listened to, and it turned out that was Piers, allegedly, from what I can't specifics of it, but Piers Morgan's Daily Mirror was responsible for hacking his phone, the royal, I think was it Princess Diana's phone, I think, and like a bunch of other celebrities' phones, not his phone, her phone, sorry, the girl who died. So they were trying to get access to the information. Like if you're willing to do that sort of shit because you want to scoop,
yeah.
And you're in media anyway. And back then, that was the only forms of media, right? There was no internet. Exactly. It was like what we said on the front page influenced millions of people. So like Piers Morgan was a fucking powerful person with the ability to influence, but obviously he was just doing what he was told to do by the people that really control the situations, like Maxwell, like Murdoch, those sorts of people.
He was the chief editor of the Daily Mail, right? Not the Daily.
No, it was the Mirror, wasn't it? It was the Mirror, I think.
The Mail.
I'm sure it was the. Hang on.
Yeah, these people, these chief editors of those newspapers in those times, they were like some of the most powerful people in the world. They could destroy careers with one news article.
Piers Morgan served as the editor of the Mirror from 1995 until 2004. Was he also the Sun? Piers Morgan was the showbiz editor from 89 to 94. So he was the showbiz editor, which is irrelevant, from 89 to 94. And then from there, he gets the job to be the overall editor at the Mirror for 10 years, basically, before he got sacked because of those accusations of phone hacking. Yeah,
I don't like his shows. He's one of those shit salesmen, like he's very obviously articulate with the way he goes around it, but he pushes a lot of agendas in sort of inconspicuous way. Someone mentioned in the chat there about the jabs and, like not to bring it up, but, with all the stuff that was happening in Gaza, he was very,
he flip-flopped so much on that, didn't he? At the start, he was like, no, Israel's got the right to defend themselves, which I think they did. And then as soon as popular opinion went in a different direction, he's suddenly going, I bet he never ever called it genocide, did he? He never went as far as
he does that. I don't like the way he does it. What he does is he tries to define what actual a genocide is in terms of like a court of law. He says, well, no country's ever been proven to have actually committed a genocide. So, how can you say this is? And like people are watching it like on their phones,
Yeah.
They're watching it. We've never actually been lucky enough to, well, I say lucky enough, but privileged enough to have access to that kind of information where we can make our own mind up based on what we're seeing. But yeah, he's very like, he plays both sides, and then as soon as the narrative changes, he makes out he's like the knight in shining armor with everything. He did the same thing with the COVID vaccines.
He does it with everything, mate. He does it with everything. Whichever, like, he'll pick a side, which is like the official narrative. He'll take the official narrative, and then when the official narrative is then blown open, he'll realize that he's going to get heat if he doesn't sort of move, and he tries to move the goalposts and shift over. And then when he has people on that call him out about it, first of all, he won't let them speak. He gets really defensive and really aggro. And then he also tries to he tries to find any reason to say like, no, I've been calling them out for this for ages. But he doesn't like being reminded that he was trying to force everyone like you're a bad person if you don't get the jabs. You're this, you're that. And then when people call him out for that, he's like, well, that the science at the time was this. Like, no, you were just doing as you were told. And after the fact, when the damage is done, then you can move your opinion over here so that you can remain popular because you're still a useful shill. You're still a useful idiot because people still want to watch you. So after the damage is done from your message, then you can move your narrative because that sort of the game plan is already finished, and then don't worry, you'll still be available you won't be completely sort of cut out, so that next time there's a need, we can use you to do the same thing again.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing right now for Iran. Like when he actually interviews like Iranian professors and stuff on his show, and whenever he comes on, he really tries to like undermine them and intimidate them. And it's very like obvious what he's trying to do, like they try and stand up for himself, but like I said, he just talks over them, shouts over them, tries to make them look silly. But for the eyes that can see, like you can see he's pushing this war rhetoric on behalf of America to sort of force an invasion of Iran, But yeah, there's a very close link between Robert Maxwell and him, whether or not he's the mouthpiece of, propaganda, I guess is the right word. I think that's probably what his role is in it all. But he's definitely got some sort of shady past that I think we need to find out if he's in some of these Epstein files somewhere.
Oh, I bet.
Do you guys know? Do you guys know CoffeeZilla?
Yeah.
So he's just did the video on the Epstein files, or Voidzilla. That's his other channel. That should be interesting because he does amazing research.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So
we'll watch that after then.
I think he's independent as well. I think everything he's done is funded by himself,
really
so
good.
it's not compromised as much as what you'd find if you watch one of these Piers Morgan type of characters.
Yeah, he's really good. So I'm interested to watch what he did.
He got he done the was it Jake Paul or no Logan Paul? Didn't he? He exposed Logan Paul for the crypto scam.
The crypto, yep.
Yeah. And how much money did he? So Logan Paul is worth something like $100 million, and he made like $5 million off of the scam. And and of that, like probably 2 million was like the people that lost money on the rug pull.
Yeah.
And he refused to pay them back, all of his fans.
Yeah.
Like, it's too big. If I royally fucked over everybody on Spurs Talk Show or something, and there was some financial loss, and it equated to like 1% of my total net worth, like not just on a moral compass, like I would do it anyway, but also just from a business sense, you'd think that if you've been absolutely royally exposed for fucking people over, and it's going to cost you 2% of it, save your reputation. But these brothers just went, nah, fuck that. And then yesterday's news is tomorrow's chip paper, isn't it? So like, they just move on, and they're still as popular as ever. Just go.
One of the beauties of crypto is obviously it's all traceable. So what CoffeeZilla does is he actually done the background check on all of the movements of all the money, and the crypto scam was called Crypto Zoo. So it was a crypto sphere of kind of like you would buy eggs and they would breed into these kind of like Pokemon kind of like characters or whatever, and then they'd be worth something in an NFT format. And anyway, long story short, CoffeeZilla narrowed him down. He apologized for the failure of the project, didn't acknowledge that he was a beneficiary of any type of like financial gain, promised to pay back 2 million to the victims of this scam, and at the particular time he agreed it, he said he would pay it in Ethereum. Ethereum was at an all-time high, and this was like 4 years ago. So now it's got to a point where the Ethereum that he promised is worth, even though it's still high, it's worth a lot less than what it was when he actually made the commitment to reimburse the victims. So the
He's never paid them back. He's just moved on.
Still chasing them for it. Yeah.
They are still paying
it. Pay it. Forget about it.
Yeah, just pay it. Just absolutely pay it.
But like on the Piers Morgan, like on the Piers Morgan stuff, the whole like thing with Tommy Robinson, like the way he approached it, man, like when I was looking back at it, it's a typical thing of attacking the messenger and not the message. It's very easy to say, oh, he's a thug, he's this, he's that, completely ignoring that he's been right all along and you dismissed him. And even now it's like, oh, but this guy is this and that, like, which is completely irrelevant.
Who's been right all along?
Tommy Robinson, about the grooming gangs and all that kind of stuff, right? Just that piece.
Oh,
what
Tommy
Morgan
Robinson
was
right
saying
about
from the
that.
start, it's
Tommy
all made
Robinson
up.
was right about that for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and Pierce
He's,
Morgan, but
he's also like he's also got other skeletons in his closet.
of course, but
I'm not talking
specifically on
about
that.
I'm not talking about people who fund him. I'm talking about just his history, right? He was a
Of course.
football thug. He put a bottle over someone's head. I think I read allegedly. I never know who's watching this anymore. I'm scared now. But like, you know, I'm pretty sure he got in fight. Like he told a lie, which is why he was in prison again recently. I'm sure people are out to get him, but also at the same time, he is 100% bought and paid for now by influence, and that influence.
I think his role is to incite a religious war. I think his particular role, the reason why he was, on that particular grooming gang stuff, is to bring the awareness to the British public that there's a race of people in the country that are committing lots of crimes, and he kind of like bravoed the rally for it. But what he's actually doing is inciting this kind of hatred between the two groups of people. And again, he's a very compromised person, as we said yesterday.
But he's been on it, Nikos, from the start, like way before it was public or before it was a big deal, right? It started way back, like 20 years ago.
Piers Morgan said to him, because he picked up the Quran, didn't he? And he said, like, this book is disgusting. It's full of horrible things, paedophilia, all this stuff. And Piers Morgan was like, you put that book down. How dare you? How dare you? I'm saying, like, it's a fucking book. It's a book. No one would say that if someone picked the Bible up. No one would say that.
I burn it.
I'm pretty sure I saw a story where someone set fire to a Quran in London, in England somewhere, and obviously someone who worships, who's a Muslim, saw him doing it, went up to him with a fucking knife, a giant knife, tried to stab him, failed. The police come, they arrest both of them. The guy who burnt the book gets put in prison, and the guy who wielded the knife gets off.
It's a fucked up place we live, mate. It's a fucked up place.
Because apparently, like, you incited it. You brought it on yourself. What? Are we invoking self-defense? I'm defending myself from this guy with a knife because he's burning a fucking book.
Yeah.
I don't care what book it is. What are we doing?
It's a shame. They're trying to incite a race war. These people like that are controlled. Like, again, I know he's been on it for a long time. I remember I used to have friends that go to the ADL rallies. When I lived in the UK like 20 years ago, he was, like a very white supremacist person back then. Like his ideology is kind of very racist. But I think his like pathway or whatever he's charged to do right now is to create this fraction in between the Muslims and the whites and whatever in the UK, and by highlighting it and being the face for it all, I think it gives him credence and people get attention and make opinions.
I disagree, Nikos. Again, like, I don't live in the UK, so I have no idea. But just kind of looking at it, thinking about it, that race war, like, it's already there. Like, there's so many people who have been born, like, again, not to get political or religious, but who are born in UK or even born in America or anywhere else, who are looking at things and it's like, our way of life is changing. Why do I need to feel guilty because of who I am, right? And everything that the government does is for a certain group of people. It doesn't matter who that group is. So there is a huge group of disenfranchised population. So it's not even that he's inciting it. It's just the people have all this anger inside, and it's gonna blow up eventually, whether it's him or whether it's anybody else. And he's just the guy who, honestly, again, I have no idea, but based on his past,
he's
he found himself.
He's highlighting it, and he's using his platform because he was a big influential person back 20 years ago. He used to have like thousands of young kids in their like early 20s, turning up on a weekend, just getting drunk and taking drugs and stuff like that, and he's talking to them all and stuff. He was just a very, very influential person 20 years ago, and his job is just to highlight the problem. And this then creates
There's definitely a race war coming. 100% there's a race war coming. But
it's not a race war, though. It's more
like
of a religious
war, whatever, But that's also by design. It's also by design. They want that, like, all of these people that are coming here. Again, not to get on the topic too heavily, but like, if all these people are fleeing wars where they're from, where are their women and children? Where are they? You know, every boat is like 95%, 99% fighting age male. Where are the old people? Where are the old men? Where are the old women? Where are the children? Where are the young women? Where are they? They're nowhere, right? If you're fleeing war, you take your women and children with you. If you're fleeing to a war, you leave them behind. It's so obvious. Like it's not a conspiracy. It shouldn't have to be even explained. Like it should be obvious to everybody. And the fact that those boats get recycled, the fact that they don't get destroyed, they get put on a truck and they go back to France, and the fact that all of those people go over with life vests on. If it was really Romanian gangs that were doing this, do you really think the Romanian gangs would give a shit about them having a life vest? They wouldn't. It's the non-government organizations that are doing this. They are funded by our taxpayers. We are funding our own demise.
Invasion.
We're funding our own invasion.
Yeah, I agree.
But
and again, I don't blame the people that if they are coming here for economic purposes, the legit ones that just want a better life. I don't blame them. I'd do the same thing if I needed to. I don't blame them for wanting to come here. If you're sitting there going, oh, by the way, you go to England, it's a bit of a bugger to get to, but once you're there, you get a hotel, you get a 3-course meal, nice and warm, you get 50 quid a day or whatever it is. I got no issue with the individual. I have a massive issue with the perpetrators of the overall scheme, and that's the people at the top, as always. It's not I don't care about this left. I don't care about this. It shouldn't be us versus them. It should be all of us versus them.
Yeah. It's there's actually a guy on YouTube. He does videos. He actually tracked down a few of these people in these hotels. So a few of these people that turn up on boats, and one of them actually talked to him, and he told him that their job is to come here for 10 years. They're all from the military, from all different places around, sort of the other side of the waters, if you like, and their job is to stay here for 10 years. And at some point in these 10 years, there's potentially going to be a big war, and they're here to fight. You know, it's scandalous. You know,
is there any country out there that you think is like, where is the place that you would, if you want to avoid as much of this as possible, not just this particular thing, but like if you want to avoid war, if you want to go to a place where you're incentivized to like work hard, low taxes, you pay for yourself, pay for your own healthcare, whatever else, but you know it's not a freebie. You've still got to have, you know, your own. You got to stand on your own 2 feet, but they'll give you the method in which to do that, but that you're out of the way of all of this political bullshit. I don't know where that is.
And there's a place called Palau. There's a place called Palau where you can be a digital citizen, and you know it's in the middle of nowhere.
What country is that?
No one's coming to invade it. Yeah, Palau. But places like Switzerland, like someone mentioned it yesterday in the chat yesterday, but you can't just move to Switzerland. I don't know if you know that, but you've got to have at least 50. I think it's 50 grand euros in the bank already, and you've got to have a contract from a Swiss-based company, not a company based outside of Switzerland in Switzerland. So you've got to have a Swiss registered company offering you a job to even consider moving there. So the places that you would think would be obvious, you know, landlocked countries without seas and borders, you know, like they're not accessible as much as you'd think. I don't know.
It's not in Europe.
I don't want to buy my own island. I don't want to have to like do the plumbing or like shit between 2 rocks. I want to go to a place. I want to go to a place that's like set up. I'm thinking like, is Singapore the best option? Is Hong Kong the right place? Is, I don't know, like South Africa, like, or I don't think anywhere in Europe is, you know, Estelle keeps
Europe,
telling me Greece is amazing, or Cyprus, sorry, Cyprus is amazing, but I think for how long? I don't know. It sounds good. It does sound good, but then I don't want to be I don't want to be the minority, like where people go, you're a foreigner. I don't want to be on the other side of the coin. I just want to go somewhere where if I work hard and I pay my bills and the taxes incentivize you to like actually keep trying and fighting and figuring things out and make some money. And at the same time, I don't have to feel like I'm at the threat of getting blown up, or that I'm going to get, you know, my wife or my child would get in problems if they were walking home by themselves, and where you just sort of left alone. Just leave me alone, bro. I've got no problems paying taxes to like a country that's got their feet on the ground and their eye on the prize. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of thinking that every pound I earn, 40 pence of it goes to corruption and to solving problems that don't need to exist if it wasn't for these reptilians that are our overlords.
Yeah, America used to be a place. America was the place where you
America was the place.
ideology, and that was the place that when I was a kid, that was a place to do that and create that life. You know, they're tricking people right now. Someone mentioned in the chat there, Dubai. Well, I lived in Dubai for 2 years. Like, all it takes is one regime change in Dubai, and like everything will go upside down there. Like, it's a very strict country in terms of like their local laws. Like, it's not a very it's not a nice place if something changes, you know. Like, I wouldn't feel particularly safe having all my eggs in that basket in Dubai or any of those Middle Eastern countries either. I don't know.
America is still the place. Like, issue with Europe again, like somebody.
Where in America is the place though, Eugene? Because it's not
there
New
are
York
places
anymore.
where
It's not
not in the
York, it's not
cities.
California.
No, not in the cities.
It's not Massachusetts. I don't think it's Florida.
It's not Canada.
So I used to live in the Bay Area, right in the Silicon Valley, like near San Francisco, San Jose, and it was crazy. But now we moved out a little further away. Most of America are rural areas where people just leave you alone. Nobody cares about politics or anything else. They just live their lives. It's a great place to be. The cities are the ones that are crazy.
In rural
One
California.
thing about America still is an issue with Europe is and I'll flip it around our previous kind of conversation or topic, is that it's very tough as a foreigner to assimilate in Europe. If you live in UK, unless you're British, you cannot become like, a top, like being like an elite or like become a CEO of a company or whatever. It's very tough. Or if you're not German and if you're in Germany, you'll always be looked at as a foreigner because of tradition, right? In America, it doesn't matter. So that's the beauty of it. I can be here.
Yeah, but like so you're saying in rural parts of California, but in rural parts of California, are you still paying the same amount of tax as people that live in LA?
Yeah, sure. But the taxes.
It's insane tax in California, isn't it? It's like,
it's great. Yeah, not California.
Like 10% state tax, 25% federal tax, and you've got to pay all of your health premiums, which is just insane. So like,
it's valuing the dollar, and they've been
not California per se.
And that's the other point. The dollar is under threat massively. The dollar is fucked. The dollar is fucked, right?
It's good for the economy, right? It means more, it means other countries will buy our stuff. For the economy, for our economy, weak dollar is good, unless it crashes completely, but it's not going to crash anytime soon. But I'm just saying that there are a lot of places here, like all that shit that's happening that you see on TV is in big cities. If you leave big cities, like, for example, again, like the place where I am right now with the kids, our tax dollars, I can go to a meeting of, like my local school board or my local government, and I can actually participate and I can actually have an influence about where my tax dollars are going versus living in San Francisco where you have no idea, right? You see like all the craziness. So there's still places here where you can get away from the craziness, not pay a lot of taxes, and just live your life. And nobody cares where you're from, who you are, as long as you're a good person, you have a good family, right?
What do you know about like places like, is it Honduras? Where's that? The guy that made Bitcoin
El Salvador.
El Salvador. What are those sorts of places? Are they in good? They're in good shape.
They're dangerous.
Very dangerous places, especially if you're
dangerous.
from this world,
Again, like everywhere else in the world, in most places, if you're a foreigner, like you will never be on the same level as a local, like as the person who was born in that country, right? In Latin America, maybe it's a little easier, but like in Japan, like there's no way, right? You're a foreigner forever. In Europe, you're also a foreigner. It's very hard to assimilate. That's why you see all those kind of not race-related issues, where there is a population like in Britain that feel like they will never be on that same level as the Brits. So there's a lot of socioeconomic issues in Europe, whereas in the States, again, it's a little different. It's a bit easier.
Yeah, I was very much welcome when I lived like I traveled all over the place in Texas, in America, and never had anyone. Everyone was actually just more like excited to see you because you've got an English accent. It was more. You weren't considered a foreigner. You were more considered like an interesting person, I guess, right? So it was not. I didn't experience anything but a welcoming time. So I would move back to America. I would, but I would never. I'd go. Texas for me is the coolest place. I love Texas.
Florida is okay.
Yeah, Florida's is a little bit. I feel like Florida's too hot for me in the summer though.
It's rednecky too. There are a lot of.
I'm going Patagonia.
Patagonia.
I'm going Patagonia. I'm looking for some cheap land.
I don't know if you'd be welcome there in 20 years, mate, with all your thoughts.
Mate, it's always interesting. I've always thought about living in Brazil or Argentina or something like that. But yeah, mate, that's a nice part of the world in terms of like life. But it's
Argentina?
so like run down, and it's been so.
Yeah, Eugene's got a hatred of Argentina.
No, I love Argentinian music, food, and women. Amazing.
Oh yeah, the girls are smoke shows. The steaks are delicious.
Exactly.
The music,
What not to love?
nothing but love. But is it safe in Argentina though? I don't know if it is it?
No, not really. No.
It all depends on who's in power. So that's the issue, right? It depends. Same thing in Mexico. I would buy a house. I'd live in Mexico, but you never know. Where I would live if I was younger, I would move to Thailand or Vietnam, because there your dollar goes a long way. People are super friendly and nice, and you can live a good life in Southeast Asia. Like that's where I would go personally.
Yeah, but Thailand's at war now.
Yeah, but it's not It's not
not
real.
war. It's not like yeah.
I don't think there's a right answer.
Couple of grenades, nothing too bad. You know what I mean? Just
the beauty with third world countries is the corruption is accessible to people with some money. You don't need to be in the government to be corrupt. So if you live in Vietnam or Thailand, if you have a little bit of money, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, but I think in Thailand you're not allowed to I don't think you're allowed to own anything as a foreigner. I think you have to get married to someone. If you want to have a business, like a woman's got to have 51% ownership. You know,
I'm sure there are women there who will be looking for you, Sean.
You've got to keep moving around there. Like someone I used to work with, he actually is in prison in Thailand for I think 18 years for some not really serious crimes, but not little crimes either. But yeah, literally, as a foreigner there, he was prosecuted very, very quickly, and you'll probably never see the light of day again. But he had to move around every 60 days.
Yeah.
Vietnam, Thailand, Laos. He had to keep moving.
My brother used to live in Thailand for 5 years. He said it was amazing. He got bored of it, but that's what I would do. Again, if I didn't have family, if I do it all over again, if I was young, in my 20s, I would just live in Vietnam or Thailand and just enjoy my life and not worry about anything and just live in paradise.
Yeah, Thailand has to own 51%. Yeah, so you marry someone, and she basically owns you. Then
why own stuff? What do you need to own?
I think it's similar in Dubai as well.
Well, if you want to own a property, you either move to Thailand and then you rent forever. If you want to buy a property, you can't own any more than 49% of it, which basically means that someone else can sell it, and you've got no say in it, right? If you go into business with someone and you go, all right, let's set up a scooter shop or whatever, and you do it with a local that you think you can trust, tomorrow they can just say, well, I'm selling all the gear, and you've got no say in it because they own 51%.
Similar to Dubai. It used to be when I lived in Dubai all these years ago, 10 years ago, it was a case where you couldn't own any physical property. You used to have to go through a local person from the Dubai area, and he could then be the name on the contract. You couldn't just go in and put money and go boom, boom, boom. As a foreigner, I don't know if it's changed now because it's been a while since I lived there, but it's like that. A lot of the world is like that.
But why own if you can pay $500 a month for a mansion, and
it's not like you can't do $500 a month for a mansion.
Whatever, but you can live comfortably.
I don't know. It's not as cheap as you think it is in Thailand these days. It isn't. It's caught up dramatically because of the amount of people that have moved there.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it's not London.
I personally would vouch for Spain. Personally, it's nice and cheap. Get the best of all worlds. Bit of sunshine, cheap beer, nice birds.
I want to go somewhere where there's a lot. I want to be able to own some land. I want to get a place where you got a couple of acres where it's yours. It's your fucking ranch. And you go and bring yourself a giant jacuzzi, and you put a couple of horses out there, and you grow some fucking grow some apple trees and some just have a bit of land.
Come to America, man. Washington, Oregon, they're huge pieces of land.
Those states are fucking mental. Those states are they've lost their mind.
In the woods, nobody knows who you are. Again, don't live in a city.
I don't want to live in I don't want to live in a fucking tree house, Eugene. What are we doing here?
You say you want a ranch. all the
America
ranches
scares me.
are in.
I want some land. You said go and live in the woods. I don't want to have to fucking like.
Right, that's what I mean. All the rural areas are super conservative, like the red areas in Oregon and Washington. You can get a ranch with horses, with livestock, and you can just like live your life and nobody's gonna bother you.
Yeah, the problem is in America, the problem is if it ever kicks off there, everyone's got a gun. Like, that's the problem. If it ever does get to a point of civil unrest there, like real civil unrest across the whole country, like it's a very dangerous place to be as a foreigner.
The misconception is all the conservatives have guns, all the liberals don't. So it's not going to be a real civil war.
Well,
How
that's
much?
the beauty of it.
How
You
much?
can have
How
a
much,
gun.
would a, how much would a rural? Let's have a look. What do you call them? Rural ranch in where?
Just
for sale
Oregon,
in
let's say,
Oregon.
or
Let's have a
Washington,
look.
or even California. You can
Oregon
get it
farms
for
and ranches for sale. Let's have a look. See what we're doing here.
not expensive. Not expensive.
3.5 million for 70. That's a bit too much for me. 1,702 acres. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Now we're talking flat as a pancake.
Or you
10
can get a
million for
vineyard.
6,000 acres. Okay, this isn't. This, I need some. Is there a filter? How do I? How do
Or
I
do
find?
California. You're looking at expensive, like.
Does it go down in price? No. Look at that.
Oh,
Wowzers.
beautiful.
17.5 million
Yeah,
for a
no, that's
home
crazy.
with 2,700 acres. Look at that.
You know what's funny, Sean? I almost bought a
Give me
vineyard.
the fucking lottery upgrade, bro. Give me the lottery upgrade, and I'll go out to this place, wherever this is in Oregon. That sounds delicious. Look at the state of that, mate.
I almost bought a vineyard. That's my dream. Like Godfather, just like sit on the vineyard and oversee your grapes. There was a cheap
Oh, yeah.
vineyard. Almost bought it.
How do I? There you go. 148 acres for 1.2 million.
That's too much.
There you go. 10 acres for 500 grand.
Perfect.
And it
There
comes
you
with a
go.
house, is it? Let's have a look. What's this? It come with a house? What's the house looking like? What can you do with 10 acres? You could do quite a lot with 10 acres,
You
can
can
you?
do whatever. You can do anything. Yeah. No,
And you
the one below
be able to get
with the
planning
lake.
permission.
Scroll down.
This one.
This one. Look at the lake or the river. That's
Oh,
beautiful.
not 276 acres land on river offered at $1 million. Oregon River Bend Ranch in Kimberly is a rare find and a combination of amenities.
Come on. See? That's living, man.
There's no pictures. Look at the state of this thing. The fuck is that?
That's your house.
Megalith.
Oh, we're going in here. We'll have a look.
Get a bit of land with some megaliths on it.
Is that the house that they were talking about? Like legit?
The house is overrated. You can build a house. It's all about the land.
That's the house, I think. Yeah, get me something like that. That's what. Well, who's this? Donna Joe. Hey, Donna Joe.
Dude, she would love you. She would love your accent.
Donna Joe Merrifield. I like a name. I like a double-barreled name. What are we doing here?
Man.
Could grow lots of ganja.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can you grow ganja in America?
Oh yeah, in California, for sure.
Some places, some not.
Yeah.
Him in Spain, you can.
Should we? I don't want this. Tonight's just been more of a chinwag rather than it's conspiracy stuff. But Nikos, let me get everybody. There's 90 people here. I'm sure there's other people here that weren't here from before. Guys, do me a favor. This link here is Nikos. He told me today he's going to start he's starting his own channel, and he hasn't done any content yet. But we like to get people going. So I think we're up to like 37 or something subs or 27 subs. So can everyone that's watching this, just if you've got access to a computer or whatever you're doing, just click on that link. It will open up another tab, and then just smash the subscribe. We're going to try and get my man up to 100 subs as soon as possible, and then we'll go from there.
I appreciate it. I just want to talk some conspiracies, and do it a bit more frequently than we can on these shows. And I live and breathe this stuff, and every day I've got something interesting I come across that I'd like to just maybe throw out and have a 2 pence on. And I know a lot of people in here in the comments, think very like-minded like us. So I would appreciate any subs, and thank you so much, Sean, for helping me get on.
All good, my man. All good. Thank you for coming on as always, and to you, Eugenie. Should we do one last video just to round this off?
Got it.
One last video.
I hate it here, so I will go to.
Didn't mean that. I think this one is about the. Look at this, Eugene. You'll like this one. This is about those betting markets, right? You have to read the caption. It only lasts 8 seconds, so I might have to play it twice. But look at this.
I hate it here, so I will go to secret gardens in my mind. People need a key to get to.
Can you see that? Can you make it out? Yeah. So she was midway through a sentence. She looks up at a clock and then just fucking walks out of the door just before it got to 1 hour and 5 minutes. And the betting market of the thing lasting less than 1 hour and 5 minutes. Mate, what are we doing?
Mate, have you seen the one? There was one. The guy put, I think it was $15,000 on Trump saying "fuck" in a address in the White Oval Office, and they're like all these people glued to the screen. Like this guy's looking at it, going, recording himself watching it, and then Donald Trump goes, "Yeah." It's like they put a bet on would Donald Trump say "fuck," and he had like 15 grand on it, and it's like he come in and say, "Yeah."
He actually said "fuck." He actually said "fuck." Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but this one is crazy, Sean. So the one that you showed. So the crazy thing is, so it was a huge, like a couple $100,000, if not more, and every one of her press conferences went over. Every one of it. This is the first one that went under, and she looks and just randomly walks off.
Walks
and
off.
It was a big bet
place.
That's the craziest thing.
He's like, yeah. So we'll answer that one now, but we'll come back tomorrow. See ya.
That's amazing. Unbelievable.
Scandalous.
This is absolute scandals, and there's nothing you can do because you can't prove anything. They don't care. They don't care.
But I like it because it's so in your face. I enjoy it. I don't know why. To me, it's
I kind of like it as well. Like, don't pretend like you're doing
exactly.
It. Just be real. Like we can't stop you anyway. Make your money. Just don't blow the fucking world up in the process. What I'm worried about is when I saw on this money market, will a nuclear weapon detonate in 2026? And there was like £10 million or £100 million or dollars bet on it, and it was 27% yes. And I'm like, that's the sort of market that you like. These people are going to participate in. Imagine Donald Trump's going, if I set off a nuclear weapon, then I mean, look, in all likelihood, it's going to set a chain of events that's going to mean there's going to be nuclear winter for the next 20 years. But look, Barron's going to be a fucking wealthy guy when the dust settles. Quick, guys, let's get to the bunker and go.
This is like taking match fixing to like a whole other level.
It's ridiculous.
For sure. But see, and that's like, I despise politicians like Obama, for example, who do all that shady stuff, but they pretend that they're like above it. I really enjoy Trump, who is an a-hole, but it's in your face. I'm like, yep, that's exactly what's going on. And I like seeing it. It's like a TV show. You know what I mean? I like it.
It is. But it's just like,
it's crazy.
What are we supposed to do though? Like we are sitting here at the whim. We were talking yesterday about the stock markets. You know, they all collapsed yesterday or whatever. And then you kind of go, but they're going to go down and down and down and down and down. And then Donald Trump is going to say, you know, we're signing a great new deal that's going to raise the stock markets 5% in a day. And just the day before he does it, or an hour before he does it, you know, Jared Kushner or Barron Trump or whoever else, and everybody else that's on the payroll, all of his cronies are all going to lump on. It's obscene. But I know it's always happened. But now that it's in your face, I kind of agree with you, Eugene. That like I'd rather just see it happen than know that it's happening. But other people go, you know, other people that don't want to believe that the world is run by people that are out for themselves, they'll tell you that you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. Those days are gone.
Oh yeah.
You know, the conspiracy theorists were right because now it's just a fact. But on the other hand, I also hate the fact that Donald Trump was supposed to be the guy that was standing up for the American people. He was supposed to be draining the swamp. When he jumped in the swamp and got even deeper in it than anyone else.
He's the biggest lizard in there.
the biggest lizard in there.
He's doing some stuff. By the way, the Bitcoin is crashing, so it's going to be interesting. It's crazy. Gold, silver, and now the Bitcoin and the stock markets. Something is happening when everything is crashing at the same time.
Right now?
78.
Yeah, it's going to 25, by the way.
Yeah,
stop it.
No, it is. It is. Like, wait, it's like the cycle. It's a 4-year cycle every single time. From November 25, it will peak. It will bottom out in November 26 at 25 grand, and then that's when you buy it, and it will go up to 250 grand next time. It's
like everything though at the same time, which is scary because usually something is up and now everything is crashing.
This is the thing what I mentioned to you the other day. Like generally what happens is when the stock markets are going down, people used to always head to safe haven into commodities. Gold and silver was the place where the money would move around to. This is what the story is in.
Yeah, but gold has gone up all
with the stock market.
Year, with the stock market, with silver. So it used to be like the Tina thing. There is no alternative, right? Back before the interest rates rose after COVID. Before COVID, it was always like the stock market's at all-time highs. It can't keep on going on, and the argument was always Tina, right? There's no alternative. You're not getting any money in the banks. There's no point in being in gold. No point in being in silver. There's no point in being in bonds. You might as well just be in stocks. That was it, or Bitcoin if you wanted to do it, depending on the cycle. But since COVID, it's not that there's no alternative. It's like everything. It's an everything rally, and it's gone on for a long time. And now everything's going to crash a little bit. The money needs to get sucked out of the economy. There needs to be some liquidations.
I think the smart play here, again, I'm not financial advisor anymore these days, but the smart play here would be to be short in the banks, which have got the most paper contracts. So whichever banks have got the highest leverage paper contracts on gold and silver, which I think is Deutsche Bank, UBS, HSBC, short them. Rather than trying to make money off of things going up, bet on things going down.
Just spend all your money on blow and women, and that's it. Who knows? Maybe the nuclear war is coming soon. Just spend it all.
Keep an eye on that 27%. If it goes up to 30%, 32%, listen to what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk said a couple of weeks ago, one thing I can tell you is that there's no point in squirreling money away for your retirement. He didn't say why. I think the context of the conversation was that robots are going to do everything for you, and it's going to be universal basic income. So enjoy your money. I think what he really means is you're all going to be dead in about 24 months. So enjoy yourself now.
Probably not.
And I think we are. You got the fucking virus coming out of India. It's got a 60% mortality rate. I'm not going to get a vaccine for that one. 100%. No matter what they say, I'm not going to do it. And I think, to be honest, from what I've read about that virus, it's like it's in shit. Like it's part of like fecal. It's a fecal matter virus type thing. So again, not to come across like there's a I don't know, whatever you want to call it here, like a what's the word when people have when there's like a common theme with certain people, but like there's a reason why that if it is a fecal matter type of virus, there's a reason why it probably started in India, right? Like their food hygiene standards are not particularly up there with the best, are they? And they do a lot of shitting on the street and stuff. That's definitely got me cancelled, doesn't it?
It gets cancelled, mate. Gets cancelled.
Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, those Irish are. Those
I'm
Irish
just pissed
are
off 1.5 billion people.
out of control.
You just worked out a quarter of the target market.
But
no, it's true though. We've all sick. And we're gone.
And we're gone. And we're gone. Thank you.
Like it's so funny. Like when you look at Trump, just think about it. If you were him, or like if you just randomly ended up being in charge of a country, you just go in and you see the corruption, and you're like, "Fuck it, I might as well make some money too." It's like you, me, and Nikos are like in charge of whatever. Like, forget it. Let's just like goof around and just say some crazy shit and make fun of people and just make money, and nobody can tell us anything.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
There seems to be no repercussion they're scared of anyway.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's what Keir Starmer said when he was head of the CPS. When he was asked about Jimmy Savile, he said, we have to remember there was a higher threshold because it was Jimmy Savile. Sorry? There was a higher threshold because he's a famous person. Like the threshold of him committing a crime is higher than the average person. What does that mean? Is that why the king and the queen are never ever going to be guilty of a crime because they're the highest threshold known to man? What are we doing here?
I think there's lots of evidence that actually Keir Starmer was actually groomed by Jimmy Savile. There's lots of pictures of him as a kid with Jimmy Savile.
Elon?
No, Keir Starmer.
Oh, Keir Starmer.
Take it back.
I didn't say anything.
No, Sean. Slander.
Hey, listen, Elon's dad. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree is all I'm saying. 4-1 to Liverpool, by the way, guys. Interesting game. Interesting game. Listen, we'll leave it there. Appreciate both of you for popping on. Appreciate everyone for watching. I don't know if this channel will survive another night, but we will, if we can, we'll be back tomorrow. Actually, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow you got football. Maybe we can squeeze one. Maybe I'll squeeze one in late. Let us know, guys, if you guys want to join. And like I say, anyone else who wants to be a part of the show, just reach out somehow, and then we'll squeeze you into the cycle. We're going to do more and more and more. Sorry about January being a shit show on this channel, but we're back. We're back, baby. We're back with a vengeance. Love you all. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the Tinfoil Transmission. Here's your last chance before we end off.
Thank you.
And I'll be back tomorrow with a watch along and post match show on Love You Too, Desto. There's Tinfoil Transmission. I'll be back tomorrow for a watch along and maybe even a live stream in the morning as well, because we're doing Football Link first thing, actually. Football Link at 11:45, so check out for that. Love you all, guys, and we'll I'll have a whole bunch of new videos to go through for the next show. Appreciate you, Eugene. Appreciate you, Nikos. And as always, guys, bye-bye.